What? What?
Uh-oh. What just happened?
What happened?
Welcome back.
We're off to a smooth start.
With the most.
Shadow the Hedgehog.
Also, it was the day before yesterday, and it was totally my fault.
Sunder, be there.
Yep. Some technical difficulties.
And what? Last man standing? You're careful there.
Yes, it's your Rakdos prep. I get it.
Be careful there. Look. Just rein your inner Borg in, all right? Oh.
I'm playing Ingrid. She's a Golgari shaman from the Undercity who joined up mysteriously when a note was found on her shield she went to pick up.
Okay. I am Merle. I play Rael Corvino, the now Orzhov cleric, who is secretly a spy for the Demir. Also, the best dressed person in the party.
Hi, I'm the mage. I'm the mage. Like I play Griggum, like the conclave, like drunken monk who's currently gotten into a lot of trouble. It's like it's a part for the course, actually. It's like I'm starting to come in as his own as a character. They're great.
All right, going to interrupt y'all for a second. Am I audible now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, that's weird.
And you dropped. Oh no, wait. Now you're back. It's like,
Huh.
oh, you're lagging. It's like,
That could be what's going on. Let me run real quick.
Like-
Wow, that sucked. I did all this funny stuff, and no one has any idea what I was like saying.
yeah, like your audio is coming before your video, and it's like jarring when we look at it. And like,
Don't look at me.
Uh,
Ignore me.
Connection issues.
Okay.
Are we supposed to be on US East? Could that be the problem?
I'm on US East.
I
So-
don't know then.
Tex, you're on mute.
Let me run this real quick, because apparently it didn't get audioed. Excellent. I am audio now. Background music, Sirenscape. I accidentally said submit instead of subscribe when I was telling people to sub to our channel if they want. I talked about possibility of us doing a Jackbox stream at some point, and
I
reiterate.
heard all that.
Yes, y'all here Rawr!
Okay.
I'm not saying y'all didn't hear it.
everyone else didn't.
Steam didn't hear it.
And I
Okay.
lost my train of thought again. Submit to the
Um,
Rakdos. No, Battle Masters.
I mean,
I really like
depends on
that.
how you mean submit.
Battle Masters. I really like the idea more and more. It's, I don't know. It's kind of a combination game show, talk show, D&D show.
Heck yeah.
I don't know. If you like the idea of us having more different and diverse shows, honestly, my time is pretty at a premium right now these days, and I haven't even started my classes back up. Please share us with friends, family, random strangers on the street. Seriously, just kidnap someone, take them to your place, and make them watch a few episodes, and then release them. If you can, subscribe. If you can't, follow and share us with someone. If you're watching this later on YouTube, oh, thank God, I finally got over my block and have started getting videos uploaded again. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment telling me how awesome I am at this. Or that Griggum and Rail's characters are funny, or Zizva and Cookie are cute. Just some positive comment, please. Or that Tux showed up. Good job, Tux. High five.
Hey.
My hair, or that my hair is fabulous.
Well, you are not wrong. Or that K is a good boy. Because K is the goodest boy.
So we've got Tex and Cookie still for intros.
Yep. Okay. So let's start the intros all
Me
over
too.
again with you, Zizva. No, I'm kidding.
No.
Tux, Cookie, arm wrestle each other for the right to go next.
To represent this, roll a d20.
No, you can't roll it. You cannot roll it.
Roll a d20, add your strength.
Instinct to just
Why
roll a
not?
d20.
Roll a d20, add your strength.
My
Oh,
strength or my character strength? Because if it's my strength, it might go through the wall.
I appreciate that, Equilibrium. Thank you for forcing a friend of yours to watch the first episode.
Still muted, Tex.
Yeah, we can't hear anything you're saying. This is what it's like for me. I still want to play Monster Hunter with a couple of y'all. Like,
Hell yeah.
I have got
I
my...
might need
for
a
what,
computer
PC?
upgrade, dude.
Yeah, I got my heavy gun build down pat now. So,
Yeah.
one of y'all needs to introduce yourselves, otherwise I'm going to just start talking about other video games.
I think you better go, Cookie. Fader's trying to figure out his mute.
yeah, I was gonna say that.
Right.
Okay, I am Cookie. I'm playing Opal, who is a Rakdos Fire Nasi monk. Lots of fire happening here.
And you recently received a gift from Devotion.
Mm-hmm.
A 10 coin with the image of a torch on one side and a book on the other, I believe. That is in no way dangerous. I miss having like a really fuzzy
Extremely
beard.
dangerous.
Okay. Tux, say ABC for me. Nope, nothing. I didn't mute you, did I? No, you're not muted.
Leave and
Also,
join
sorry
the call.
about my camera being off center. I'm gonna have to get up and move it.
Whoop.
Oh,
Testing. Anything?
Range.
Oh my
Yay!
lord, yay! Okay.
hey.
Technician.
Woo! Okay.
Turn it off and back on again.
That is-
Power cycle it.
Oh,
Roll save against internet connectivity issues.
my new chair is like an inch
I'm
shorter
about to
than...
break up.
I feel like we need to get some inspiration in game if we're going to have to roll for internet connectivity issues.
So, hi everybody. I'm Tux. I play Faradir, the Simic Ranger, and nothing else.
It's stealing Rails online.
It's still valid.
But it's so appropriate right now.
Oh my lord, y'all
We're
are
gonna have
sitting
to
on
just make it-
so many clues that y'all haven't even looked at.
No, it's talking to each other. Oh, well.
Okay, what is 22 to investigate for mentioned clues get me?
You have 2 charges in your extraction battery from when you stabbed Cathal. Or, wait,
Girl.
Karal.
I was about to say, oh, am I dead?
You would definitely be dead if you stabbed our office manager.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Do that.
she'd take your skull and beat you to death with it.
Well, she'd probably laugh too. She hasn't had a good fight in a while. Like 6 months now.
You'd be yelling the entire. Not even with the invasion.
After the invasion was the last good fight she had. I
Wow,
love
it's
how
been 6
none of
months?
y'all... Yeah, Yeah.
Perfect.
we are picking... It took 6 months to rebuild the district. Yeah. Or not the district, the precinct. But yeah, no.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I will give them
How
this.
none of all did what?
The technology that the Izzet have for constructing homes and stuff like that is fairly advanced. Even if sometimes those homes explode.
We don't have
Or-
labor unions there, where they
So
work on a road for
love that none of
the
all-
year.
None of us
Whatever
did
you-
what?
Whatever you do, don't use the clapper for the lights.
Okay, what were you asking
It
me, Isabel?
Oh, you said I love that none of y'all, and then I didn't hear anything. Never mind.
What was in context? Like, what was I saying immediately before that?
It was before the house rebuilding thing when we were talking about like the clues and stuff.
Oh, okay.
You're like, I
right.
love that none of y'all, and then Faradir interrupted you.
Yeah, I love that none of y'all have asked how y'all been able to stay at the Creatures of Comfort Spa for 6 months for free.
That's an excellent question I hadn't thought of. Who's been footing the bill?
Here's the thing: I wasn't there, so I didn't have to question it. I was with my people, it's like, and they gave me room and board because I'm them.
You were back for like the last 4 months downtime.
Really? It's like,
Because
You
you
were coming
did
back to
performing
visit
and you did
frequently.
running the business and you did training, which was
right.
Like, the agency has been
Yeah,
up and running.
Yeah.
Like, if y'all weren't doing other downtime activities, y'all were doing business stuff. It was just small business stuff like, hey, my cat has gone lost. Can you find it? Hey, this is on fire. Can you help me put it out? Hey,
Do we have any further reports on the murders around the Yildless areas and
Yeah.
so on and so forth? It's like,
stuff like that. Let's see.
which leads us to our current predicament. It's like on both accounts. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
but we have one person left to introduce.
Wait. Who's
We
left?
do.
no.
Cookie.
No, Cookie did hers.
Wait,
Didn't
no.
Am I having a stroke?
Cookie introduced themselves.
Cookie, introduce yourself
I
again.
did not hear Cookie at all. I
Okay,
did not hear Cookie at all.
Cookie, introduce. This is the episode. We're just going to keep
Cookie,
introducing
just
ourselves.
say fire. Just say fire, and then we're gonna start.
Fire.
Merle.
Okay.
Red.
Thank you, Cookie.
Cleric. Stylish. Good.
Griggum, drunk.
Effervescent.
Let's do this.
Goblin.
No contest.
Horrifying.
Thought we were just throwing out words.
So we are picking up
Oh, dear.
on the 5th of Griv, Griev. It is the January equivalent, so which means that over the past few months it has gotten progressively colder and colder and rainy. But it's starting to lighten up a little bit. No, it's not. It's freezing. There's ice outside.
I mean, no wonder I stayed underground for half the downtime.
This is probably your favorite time.
Freezing. He's like, lots of snow. He's like, that means new clothes.
Oh, Griggum, the item got genned up. You should be able to add replenishing wine to your inventory. I'm still balancing. I'm still fixing some of the mechanical effects of it, but it's going to show up in your inventory now when you add it, at the very least.
I figure my lifestyle costs during the last 6 months replenished most of my wardrobe.
Yes. However, you do notice that periodically articles of clothing go missing.
Is this something I have to find, or
I can add it later if it's not showing up for you.
add items, inventory? No, not inventory. We're looking at potion.
It should be under just general magic items under manage inventory. If it doesn't show up, don't worry about it.
Wondrous or other?
Wondrous.
Wondrous. All right. So
I guess that means if I ever, can't have Watcher as my familiar, I have someone that's just waiting in queue.
Okay, so where we
what
last
is it called again?
replenishing wine.
Gotcha.
So while Griggum pulls that up, while we left off, there was the grand opening of the second site agency. Do y'all want to see the floor plan again?
Yes.
I would love to.
Okay, so here is the floor plan again. Make sure that's
I have
showing
been
up.
assured that downstairs near our subtram terminal, we have a Dramid stable area.
Yes.
Very important.
There is also undercity access through there. Anyway. As y'all finish the introduction to your new office/living quarters, Cathal gave you the rundown and warrant information on the Lawmaster, a serial killer that has been operating for more than a year now within the 10th precinct. What's wrong? You say
No,
whoops.
that we let it go on for a year, but whatever.
Well, I mean, y'all didn't
We
know
had
that
other
y'all had other stuff going on. No one immediately told you, "Hey, y'all need to deal with this."
Well, we let it go for 7 months. That's as long as we've been in business.
Sure.
And it was
Go with
something
that.
I been trying to get. I want to say get to in the background, but when we had several missions shoved down our throats, that kind of
Literal
just
fires
felt
started. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel better now. Thank you.
Yeah, we hit the ground running, so this is the point where it's like we have to find our own things to do. It's like, and this is pretty much top priority,
Yeah.
more
And
or less,
Yep.
because people are dying.
And in true second sight fashion, almost immediately after y'all have a mission, something came up that y'all are going to have to deal with. as 4 goblins showed up at the doorstep with their big shiny metal teeth, saying that someone had performed on the street who was not a Rakdos and taken money for it. And that's a big no-no. And so...
Oh, right.
Now, the daughter
So
of...
how are those documents coming along?
Now, the daughter of the demon, Raja Rakdos, as in Raja, daughter of Rakdos, leader of the cult of Rakdos, Baroness of Sin.
Does he ever appear?
Huh? What was the
Ever
question?
appear in canon? I said, does he ever appear in canon?
Rakdos? Yeah, he fucks up a bunch of shit every time he gets up.
Yeah.
Like, he...
Also, wasn't there some artwork of Jace riding Rakdos or something? At
Yeah,
some
he
point?
smacks the shit out of Nicolo Bolas. Like, just
Good.
backhands the boy.
Okay. Anyway, that was a silly question because daughter, of course he shows up.
Yeah.
Well, no, and that's why she's very angry.
So, you have 2 weeks to show up at a nightclub in the north of Sin Grove known as the Skin Cage.
Oh shit! I was like, you actually have more time than I thought. Okay.
Yeah, you'll have 2 weeks to deal with this, but you're probably going to want to deal with it sooner rather than later.
Yeah, like in my mind, I thought, oh man, I've only got a week to figure this out. And I was like, so And it's like, then it's like 2 weeks. Oh well, we've got some time to spare. I was like, Documancer. I was like, how can you help me?
He just looks over his contract, looks at you. You're fucked.
I mean...
By my documents, it's like, you're fucked.
We're gonna go talk to the Azorius so we can find out if you did anything actually against the law. I don't think that would help, though.
I think you did do something against the law.
Yeah, Rakdos super into the law.
No, I think we can lawyer this.
Like I said, I don't think it would help, but I mean, you could ask when we go.
Not asking whether or not I can talk my way out of having broken the law. I'm just saying, how can we present this in a favorable light? And like, so that
It's our Rakdos we're talking about.
I love that the Rakdos
Make a
are
performance
involved.
of it.
The law does not come into effect very much.
I know, which is why we're going to make a performance of it. It's like, work with me here.
So these are Rakdos we're talking about.
Yes.
So obviously, I would think they would be interested in
Promote it
something
as a
along the lines
novelty.
of
We
trial by
asked the
drinking contest.
Rakdos.
Okay, look. You don't have to be Rakdos to walk in and talk to Rakdos. It's like, you just need a big enough weapon. It's like, but that's not what we're going to be doing. It's like,
Presented as a novelty act, Rakdos and Selesnya.
no, they don't want that. The problem is that I stepped on their toes. It's like, we need to spin toe stepping into something positive.
Oh.
Well,
She's like not even paying attention, just playing with fire.
That actually carries.
a resident expert.
Looks
Come
up.
on.
Deadpan fire. He goes back to playing with.
Opal. Opal, that's not supposed to be on fire. Opal. Oh dear.
I don't even know where you got that
It's a
bird.
digitation. Put that little bit out. No.
Shouldn't have done that.
Oh dear.
I just wanted to play.
But we
She's
need
going
your
to-
expertise right now. This is a Rakdos issue.
Fine.
We'll do illusion target practice later.
Okay.
I love the idea of a person with the
Whatever
ability
you want
to
to look
conjure
like you're shooting at.
massive
got
amounts
you.
of
Huh?
fame. I love the idea of a person able to conjure massive amounts of flames, also being severely ADHD.
Yeah, that's absolutely a recipe
I
for
mean,
good
like,
things.
Isn't that Chandra to begin with?
Pretty much, yeah.
That's a good point.
Oh, wait,
I mean,
that's
she's
left.
devilishly clever, but
All right. So they're accusing you of performing in public. I guess clearing it with them first. I don't think they do licenses. So, are you denying that you did?
no, not at all.
And how much did you
Then-
make?
I can't even remember the amount.
I think it was like
It
13.
was like-
But
It was
like I'm
13
asking because
gold.
my character wasn't there.
It was
13
13
gold?
gold.
For that shit.
They take it very
This is-
serious.
This has to be some fantasy land if they're paying 13 gold for that.
It was like a week though that you were performing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
That's
over
in
the course
total,
of a
not
week.
at one time.
Oh, 13 over a week? If only my job was that good.
For those
Let's
of
see
you who
what
have
your options
noticed,
are.
I am altering the masking on some of these cameras while they're role playing and stuff. Don't mind me.
Okay. You could. Well, what are the? I mean, the goblins are there
They left.
talking, right? Oh, they left.
yeah.
Oh,
They
I thought we were just talking in front of.
No.
No, they they delivered their threat
We are
and then
at
they
the
left.
meeting table. We
What
are at the
did
meeting
they
table right now.
ask for something, or are they just, oh, you're screwed?
Yeah, they just straight up said, you did a bad. Show up here to sort this out. And it's like, so,
Well, I think that what you need to do is get your gaudiest, most Rakdosiest outfit ready.
I'm Leslie. It's like,
And
don't do gaudy.
I hear shopping trip.
oh,
However-
I can help with that.
No, wait, hold on. However,
Shopping trip.
Really
I-
hope that-
You're gonna
however, I know some people, so back off. And it's like, alright.
Alright.
For the record, I had nothing to do with this and no knowledge of this happening.
Why won't you let me give you a makeover, Greg?
Hi, Zermit. Welcome to the chat.
I'm hurt.
It's not that I don't trust you. It's like, it's just that I prefer that trust to be in your documents. It's like,
Well, the Rakdos don't put the most stock into documents as far as I know.
which is why you need to perform.
Well,
You
that's the problem
make
is
it
I
less-
didn't,
make it less about the law and more about the story. It's like, you can do
Wait, so
that.
what you're saying is that in order to try to get them on your side, you're going to perform once again with no license
No,
in
not on
front
the
of a
street.
Lactose
In front
leader.
of them. In front of them. That's different.
Look,
Is it?
if we can,
Yes, actually, I think.
yes,
Oh,
like,
well, yeah, that's different, right? Yeah.
okay.
Slightly.
From what?
we're making ourselves in front of them. That's the goal here. Like, because
We
if we make
are?
them
Wait,
laugh,
what?
because if we make them laugh, they'll probably go easy on us. I was like,
On us.
On
I
you.
knew I should have put him in that dress.
It was a wonderful disguise.
I like this.
yeah,
No one
idea.
would have ever thought to connect him.
yes, as if my ears and nose aren't going to give me away at any point. Like,
I like the idea
no, they'll
of
just
Griggum
point and
just
laugh and
Clark
like,
Kenting it, putting on a pair of
Should have
glasses.
wore a
Like,
pair of glasses, dang it.
who's this new goblin?
Oh, that old one. He ran and left because she was scared. He's gone now forever. Bye.
Yeah.
I don't know about the rest of you, but I think Griggum would just do fantastic in a dress.
I'm not
should
just
just
So,
Sorry.
great.
where did
Flowers
Tux
or
go? Who is this new person?
We could just like take her some like really interesting flowers or something with like thorns and stuff. and then apologize.
Do you even understand how the Rakdos work?
Again,
said one for thorns.
I think your best chance is to go in and challenge. Argue that your art should stand on its own merits. And that if they really think they can outdo you, I would argue for some form of trial by combat.
No.
Which, again, given your specific strengths and weaknesses,
Look,
drinking contest.
Rail.
I love
Because
arguing
you
like
nearly went to war with a guild doesn't mean I want to do the same.
The Rakdos are not the Orzhov.
No, but still, a dragon is a dragon. Picking a fight with a demi-demon.
All right. You asked for my advice as the Documancer.
You know
he's
what?
also
That's
technically
advice I
a
can
lawyer
give.
now.
You know what?
Documancer.
And you know what?
What's your advice for dealing with the situation with the Jimmy Demon? Punch her in the face.
Or drink him
No,
under
again,
a
I
table.
That was my
Fine.
favorite.
I recommend challenging them to some form of contest. Specifically, given your abilities, drinking contest. Remember
Maybe.
what happened when we last went to ask for their help?
Try to make the term something defined, like if you lose, you give them back twice that much gold, like 26 instead of 13, instead of like
Look.
what happened
Look,
with devotion.
Look. The thing we're missing here is, what is she going to be upset the most about in this situation?
The fact that you performed without the proper
The fact that
authorization.
you haven't signed up as Rakdos.
The fact
Is
that
it
you took
that?
money.
Or the fact that I took money? It's like,
I don't know. This could be a call-in for her to recruit you.
Don't know if you could say no.
So what we doing,
She
guys?
may just want you wearing the reds and blacks. I think Griggum needs to meditate for a while.
I mean, you kind of walked into that one.
Walked. Who said anything about walking? I ran straight forward, did a forward triple somersault right into that cesspit of travel.
Okay, you're a monk. We get it. You don't have to flex. They're key points and whatever.
Griggum is doing
okay.
an acrobatic
You don't
flip
know
off.
anything about monks, do you?
There has been a soft
No.
tapping at the door for a little bit now that's starting to get progressively louder.
Is there like a door, like, look,
No.
people? Yes.
Do I need to use
Okay,
fire?
I'm going to cast Thaumaturge. Pause.
Instead
the
of
door is
waiting
locked,
10
right?
minutes
It's not locked.
for...
No. If the door isn't locked, Thaumaturge, door flies open.
Like
They were gonna say knock back twice as hard.
Kind of skinny, post-teen looking dark elf is standing at the doorway, just looking very shocked and also very uncomfortable being out in the bright light.
Hello.
Please come in.
Come in.
Is this
Douse the light.
the
Oh,
I'm looking for a Griggum.
Greg, what did you do?
And kind of
What else did you do?
comes forward and sets a envelope down on the table in front of Griggum, and then holds out a little pad. He's like, "Could you just sign here, please?"
Yeah, I got you. Here.
Wait.
Read it?
Don't sign anything without reading.
I'm reading it, and it's a list of other signatures of the people he's delivered to. It's like,
Pretty much, yes.
Alright,
yeah, it's like,
you never know.
and
Could have
so
been trying to serve you,
like it's like unnatural penmanship. It's like for Goblin. It's like writes a perfect cursive Griggum. It's like he just hands it back to him. He's like,
Takes it, folds it up. Thank you, have a nice one. And he kind of like nervously backs out because like the doors opened right in front of him and no one was there.
right. I'm gonna take a look at this letter.
It is addressed to you.
Mhm.
It is a summation of 2 quarters of financial documentation of a winery that has been started. While the first quarter broke even, the second quarter showed a profit, and attached is a Orzhov promissory note of 348 gold.
When did that happen?
Didn't you invest in a business
I know,
or something?
out of character. I know out of
okay,
character.
okay.
But I was
My bad.
blitz drunk when it happened. Remember? Like I woke up with a tax collector's uniform and a bucket on my head. What do you think? I'm going to remember this?
And interesting
Great,
enough, there is no official tax collector service. Most
Yeah.
money is paid as dues to guilds for various services.
I'm a tax collector. What's that? Well, it's somebody who collects payment for
This was
government. Don't I
actually
already do that?
This was a
Yeah.
different time than the tax collector one. The tax collector one was in Farkeep, and this was in Roma.
Yeah, he was still pretty drunk.
Yeah.
I mean, he might have thought it's the same time.
Anyway.
I'm just assuming that he's like, anytime Griggum is not doing anything, he is drinking. Especially now that he has an endless bottle of wine.
Yes, which, by the way, I still can't find. So,
I'll add it on break.
I don't know. Yeah.
It
fair
just
enough.
basically, once per day you can use it to heal like the equivalent of a minor healing potion. Or a basic healing potion. Which is like
Gotcha.
1d4 plus 4, I think.
No, 1d8. It's like,
Okay, even better.
I think. No, wait. It's like,
depends on the
2d4?
punch.
you say that, and I'm thinking, that's healing word. I don't think you would put healing word into a potion. You would want cure wounds in a potion, right?
Hmm.
I don't know how potions work anymore.
Yeah.
5e is so weird. It's like, because
Nobody knows how
previous
potions
edition,
work anymore.
like previous editions, it was pretty much 1-to-1. You put this spell into this bottle, you got this spell in the bottle.
Common is 2d4 plus 2.
2d4 plus 2.
2d4.
Okay, I was close-ish.
I'll have to keep that in mind. Anyway,
Thank you, sweetheart.
the problem is that we don't know what she is really angry about or really upset about.
I think we have a few ideas, but
What you get from your Undercity mail?
A reminder that I am dumb. And I could have probably avoided all of this if I actually remembered something.
Great, please. You're not dumb, you're just not.
very smart.
What's the more foolish? The act or the thing that causes the act?
About what we're talking about.
Anyway. I think at this point, it's like unpredictable, right? Like they have general goals, but how they're going to react generally is confined to the moment. I've been going about this wrong. He's like, and I probably should just go in there without any expectations and try to win.
I'm not going to stop you.
Do you want to just get it out of the way and go by there before we go to 2nd District, or do you want to go to 2nd District? I think you're frozen. Shoot.
Me? Yeah.
Is everyone back?
Okay, your video froze.
Yeah, just for a moment.
Testing. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. I can't edit extensions while being live. That makes sense, I suppose. Okay. Don't mind
I
me.
can hear you, but your video's froze, Griggum.
I can see him moving.
Really?
Well, I'll wait till break to reload,
Okay.
so I don't lose anyone else.
Anyway, the thing is that I probably should just show up and be as unpredictable as they are. He's like, go with it. He's like, maybe things will solve itself. It's like, I won't know until I actually get there. No sense in worrying about what maybe. And I just am like,
Do you need people to go with you
I need people to stop me.
from going?
From possibly making a bad idea. It's like,
From
but since nobody's objecting to me doing this, I may as well do it today.
So, who's going?
Better to get it over. Oh, I wouldn't miss this for the world.
It's because I have employees like you that I get into this shit.
Oh. No, this trouble is all yours.
I thought we were all
And,
equal partners.
Yeah. We caused enough of our own trouble that we own up to.
Look. Like,
For the most part.
yes, this is my fault. I was like, but at the same time, why a dragon? Why?
Because it was
This
about
poor
to
Vino
kill
took
us
care
all.
of the dragon issue.
But why did you have to send it there?
Because I couldn't think of anywhere else that would have been able to handle a dragon. And it saved all of our lives.
You could have thrown it right back at the gruel.
It was the gruel. And honestly,
Can I?
Yes,
not to-
if
Can I question the
I-
assumption that we had to tell the dragon to attack somewhere else? That was the only that's somehow a given, like
We
a law of
didn't, it was
physics. We had
right
to
back
tell
at
it to attack somebody.
I feel
Honestly,
like
if-
you should definitely take Faraday with you, because he definitely seems to be on the more peaceful track.
He has no
someone-
idea what's going on.
Oh, okay, yeah,
if
that's true.
someone
He's the kind of
were
person that if he doesn't know what's going on, he just smiles and says hi.
If a giant monster
It's
were
true.
about to murder me, and you, thinking under extremely stressful circumstances, came up with a solution that saved the hell out of me, I think I would be thankful.
You are our documancer. Supposed to do well under stress.
What exactly? Documancy? What about documancy has to do with performing under stress?
Because you are someone who is on the field. Like,
I am a lawyer.
I think
when you hand me that paper in triplicate about wanting to kill me, he's like,
I love. I have a mental image.
Contract.
yes,
Then I'm your
Faramir.
man.
I have a mental image of this going back
No,
and forth. And
I'm with Rail on this one. I don't understand the documancer, therefore cool-headed. I think that also is
Yeah.
kind of a leap in logic.
look,
I think you're both tied at this point.
I am.
to the field.
I
He's
am a documancer. I am a researcher. I am someone who is fearless when delving into forbidden tomes
yes,
and lost texts.
yes, which means you have to be on the field. It's like, you have to think on your feet. It's like, and be the smartest person
It
in the
means
party.
I have to be in the library stacks.
I have a
Why
mental
are you
image
even here?
of this going back and forth, and Faraday's
here's
just sitting there with his
Griggum.
hand up.
Okay, how about this? We need the documenter at the Azorius thing to get the details and to help smooth over any paperwork requests. So let's just all get this visit out of the way. And I'll go too. Opal, you're required to come because you're Rakdos and we need your help getting in the door and not pissing people off.
Azorius? Like,
No, to the.
Okay,
you said
well,
you wanted to
okay,
just
okay,
handle
okay,
this. Let's
okay,
go.
okay, hold up. I guess we need to split into groups. And it's like,
No,
well,
because we need
yes,
the
Let's
documenter with
not
us, and
split
so
the
do you.
party.
We're gonna fight
No.
over him.
he needs to go to the Azorius. You
Not
said
split the
yourself.
party.
We're
Look.
going with you now, Griggum. You said it's all our fault. I don't agree, but we're
No,
going with you
I didn't
anyway.
say anything about it being your fault. It's like, I never said anything about it being your fault. I said it was my fault, and I was looking for reasons. For solutions. It's like, that's why I was crowdfunding this freaking idea. It's like,
Ingrid is the perfect child who is never at fault.
please keep up with the conversation.
Well, you said it was because you had employees like us. So.
You're a bad influence.
Well, guilty. So why do you want us to go with you? I mean, I'm going,
I don't-
but
Want you to go with me. Do not duck season, rabbit season this on me.
Griggum,
Yes, we
I
have
think we can all
Ingrid's
see how
actually
this is going.
legitimately confused. She's not trying. She's actually legitimate.
I think we can all see how this is go. So let's just all go to the Azorius first, and then
No. It's like,
Can I have
This is starting
everyone
to
in the
become a
room
nightmare.
make me a report their passive perceptions for me, please?
that is going to be
12.
12.
19.
Okay. Pretty
14.
much every person in the room sees as the doors in the back creep open and a small red demon with horns kind of like cronks like doo-doo, doo-doo, like
Hi,
bad
Tabletop.
holding a set of Ingrid's clothes as he kind of
Those down this
Forcibly-
time. You got caught.
he
You have to be sneakier to get away with it.
kind of
No,
like
no.
stops, looks at y'all,
You have to put them down this time until you're sneakier.
and he runs for the door.
I'm gonna go try to catch him.
Make an athletics check.
Damn, if only I had snare.
I have fire.
12.
18. He's like, he just nopes right out of there.
I went to put an illusion in front of the door.
Let me check something.
why are
Minor-
you tormenting this poor demon?
He didn't legitimately sneak those away.
Okay. What's the illusion of? Because it's a
I
big
want
door.
to have the. Yeah, I wanted to have that not look like the door, and then look like the door was a little bit over, like off center, where he couldn't get to the knob. Basically.
Roadrunnering him.
Yeah, but just like a little off center where he doesn't know where the knob is.
That is a 5. He runs into the wall.
Okay,
Dang,
I'm gonna go grab him.
Aw.
Oh, hey!
No,
Hi.
you have,
Hi.
and I take the stuff back. You have to be sneaky to get stuff,
Okay.
and then
Take that
fire
out of your
everything
mouth.
out the door.
Take that out of your mouth. And like,
He gets tossed out the
drop
door.
it.
Just kind of skitters and vanishes after a second.
You're missing a brooch. It's like,
And puts the stuff back in her room.
anyway, he's like, my problem, I'll go deal with it.
I
You guys
figured.
do the footwork. And he's like,
What would you like to say, Faraday?
Oh,
Not to
part
kill the this conversation, but I think we may need to discuss security measures.
Yeah, that too. Also, I seem to have lost Griggum's video, but I can't see him.
Else having trouble seeing me?
I can see and hear Griggum.
Are a little laggy for me, but then again,
Just
I
us
am
two
like
that have lost
halfway across the U.S. at this point, so
I mean, I'm seeing and hearing all of y'all fine. Of note,
Very odd.
Opal has vanished.
okay.
I told her we needed her on deck for this. She's your witness of sorts.
All right,
Y'all are
well,
like
let's
the
go find
apple
her. Like,
dumpling gang. I love it.
Okay, so the thing is, you're going and we're waiting for you? Do you want us to, like, wait outside where you're going?
Sure, you
Or
don't want us to come with?
look. Let me deal with it. All right. It's my responsibility. I'll own up to it. It's like I'll handle whatever may come. All right.
just
Okay.
don't tell them you'll do
Separate
whatever.
this thing.
Don't say that part.
What do you take me for? It's like
Yes,
if I ever.
dear.
If you're gonna go there, could you keep that wand of identifying here? Just,
So we don't have to recover it from your
in
body.
case you get killed.
Just like
It's a
wand of magic identification. It's like
That's what he's talking about.
spies murmur. It's like potion.
Keep the spy's murmur.
I'll keep the drunken staff. Leave the one, take the staff. Take the cannoli.
As you're holding the staff, you get a ping as a new bar opens up.
Oh, that's fucking handy.
Because it tells you the location of every bar within 60 miles.
Oh, yeah. Clubs count? Look.
And since rebuilding is an ongoing effort, periodically new bars are opening up again.
Yeah.
That's if nightclubs count. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Hi?
Hello.
Hi.
Did you hear us? It's like,
Me?
yeah.
What was the question? Oh, yes.
Clubs count.
If alcohol is served there, it counts. I heard you.
Test be taken since you missed a couple of the times.
No, I heard you.
Good?
No one said
Okay.
DM. So I thought you were talking among yourselves in character. Because you're not supposed to talk to the DM. You're supposed to talk to each other
I know.
in character.
I was asking about the magic item, which he's had
Yeah,
identified.
okay, yeah, like you, it's like,
I don't know about the item doing that.
yeah, like you talked to us directly, and so we were answering back to you, we were like,
That's just an excuse.
this thing happened. It was, yeah,
So, anyone want to do
Either way,
anything while Griggum's going and
that
taking
was-
care of
yeah,
this?
like that wasn't part of the description that I have on the drunkard staff, so I have to add that later.
Oh,
But
I thought it included
So, yeah.
bars.
no, it just
The
says what
closest
happens.
one before.
No, the thing is that oh yeah, no, it's in between all the combat data that is like it's not separate from that. It's like, hey, it's like it does this much damage. It also does this. It does this other combat thing.
Yeah, I like a utility sandwich where actual utility, not really utility, and utility.
We may have to rearrange the wording on that because that is going to be.
You should
Anyway.
see my notes for the scroll of daggers.
Anyway, he's like, I'm gonna go to the Rakdos. He's like,
Okay.
you guys do footwork and find Opal. Look, last thing we need. Never mind about her. He's like, because my problem is with the Rakdos. Like, actually, no, you find her. He's like, we don't want her causing trouble with any other guild. He's like, we don't need to make everyone have a problem with with some guild or another.
We'll look around for her. And then I don't know about doing too much footwork because we were going to go get the official reports and stuff for 2nd District before we started.
What legwork is?
You want us to go that far while you're still gone at the club? We won't be within talking range.
I just set my spies murmur down because in case I get killed.
Spies Murmur does have limited range.
Right.
Hey. Okay, Griggum.
You just asked me to send over my magical.
Okay.
Technically, that was fair, dear.
Yeah. But yeah.
I have all the confidence in the world in you, buddy.
Find Opal.
Starts making a new character sheet.
Okay. So what would a tracking skill be in this
Survival.
case?
You can just tell me
Okay.
what you want to do, and I can tell you what to roll.
Basically, I'm gonna start tracking Opal down, being
Okay.
a ranger and whatnot. I figure that would be
Make a survival
something
roll.
I would do.
I'm insisting because I'm going with him because I was going to talk to him anyway.
Okay.
That would be a
Did you roll with assistance?
oh no, I did
Or
not.
I can roll on my own if you don't want to.
1 second. Okay, that would be a 20.
Okay. Opal's pretty easy to find from the smoking that's going on outside in the courtyard as she burns shit. Griggum, when you're heading out, are you
Opal.
heading out street top on the streets, or are you taking the sub-tram station that y'all have now?
What does the staff say about how far it is? I was like,
To the skin cage? It's about a
Yeah.
3-hour walk.
by tram? I was like,
By tram, it'll take you about maybe 15 minutes.
I'll take the tram. I was like,
Okay, so you go down into the tram. Unlike the tram stations that are publicly available, there is no ticket taker here, and there is no book goblin or food vendor. It's just a large empty room with a set of tracks in it. You wait a few moments,
we
nothing.
have food at home.
Yeah, well, you are at home.
Yeah, look, exactly.
This is like having a bus stop in your basement. It takes a few moments.
I think that gave more questions than it answered, but okay.
After a moment of waiting and nothing arriving, you kind of realize that you need to actually call for one. So you go and get Cathal. She grabs her sending stone and she requests a train be sent to your location. About 10 minutes after that, the signature Mizium alloy bullet-shaped train arrives that you're familiar with.
Okay. I get on board. I was like,
I managed to mute myself in time. Woo! Okay, as that train shoots off for a 15-minute ride at breakneck speeds across the city, everyone else, what are you doing?
Hey, Theodore, I've got a hypothetical question for you.
Okay.
So, like, if you weren't sure if you were missing part of your history and you had a question that you could ask people, and, like, you weren't sure if you should ask people about your missing history or if you should ask them about, like, the people that caused your problem, what would hypothetically you do?
I would say that books and documents don't really have feelings. So if you feel like it's an awkward question, my advice would be to try to get the basic details out of written materials, and then try to ask very pointed questions. If that makes sense.
Most likely the written materials would probably be somewhat redacted. And no, it's not that. It's that, that whole one question thing. Hypothetically, if you had a choice and you had one question and you had a missing section of your history, and then on the other hand, you wanted to know what went on and if someone did that to you, which one would you choose?
I feel so attacked. Okay, so so a question about like history or more recent thing about. Wait, did somebody attack you?
No.
Insight.
I like to think that I can think of a better way to do this, but I don't want to say anything.
19.
Definitely it's not a physical attack, but it is something she feels like she would want vengeance for.
I like to think that basically what she asked who did it or why they did it.
Okay, so to make sure that this thing, okay, so an elf who's an adult, and then all of a sudden a 16-year-old girl is talking about being attacked. It's sort of like, oh crap, what happened?
She's
Just
17.
for context here.
Actually, she's almost 18
Oh.
by my count.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you would still be young to my character's perception.
You were 2 years old.
So
5.
older than that.
He's 5.
He's got 2 years worth of memory.
I thought it was
Yeah.
5. Okay.
In
No.
any case, okay, so
I mean, just
clearly
hypothetically, if you only had one question and it was a very valuable question, would you spend it towards trying to figure out what you don't know, that you don't know for sure if you're missing, or about what happened so you could prepare or get vengeance or something?
probably what happened, though, I would strongly caution against the whole vengeance thing, at least going on that part by yourself. I kind of put, hand on her shoulder. We're a team, okay? I know, I mean, I may not be the best person to talk about it, but if you do want to talk about it, I can listen.
Okay. Thank you,
He's very he's very sincere about that.
I like to think that while this is happening... Oh, go ahead.
Why haven't you used your question? Yours seems like it'd be an easier choice.
On one hand, I were missing, I feel like they would be trying to find me. I just feel like it hasn't come up now, then maybe it's not that important.
I like to think that while this conversation is going on, Rail is just standing there watching it, while in the background, Opal is doing backflips and shooting jets of fire.
I was just going to say,
Monk shit.
Rail is going to quietly cast Thaumaturgy and just turn all of Opal's fire green.
Green flame!
Green flame!
Thank
Do I
you.
notice this with my 19 perception?
Probably, yes.
But I mean, fair
Can we, given the recent troubles and we're out in public,
Yeah, y'all don't really have a courtyard so much as you have a strip of sidewalk.
we have a front
Yeah,
yard.
yeah, no, you have.
Why don't we do that inside and not in
no,
public?
we don't do that inside. That's fire, remember?
Are you really saying you want fire inside?
You have a strip of grass and then a street. Like, maybe 5 feet
Well-
worth of grass.
Given our recent troubles, maybe we shouldn't be doing such things in
Like, people
public.
are stopping and watching as they go about their business.
Nothing to see here. Disperse. Disperse.
So I guess we go to 2nd District now, guys, right?
Griggum, after about 15 minutes of riding on the subtram, it screeches to a halt. Make me a check just to make sure you don't get thrown across the thing.
What kind of check would you like me to do?
I would say a dexterity check would fit.
Not a save? It's like,
Yeah, save would work.
alright. Because I'm just curious. I'm not demanding, hey, I'm not quite used to it, I feel, because I rolled 9?
You kind of lurch at the stop. It's been a while since you've ridden on a subtram. But you don't, catapult across the room as it stops. There's a shh for a second, and the door opens into one of the more commonly used subtram stations. There's a book goblin there, a vendor selling just various street meats, and the ticket taker that you normally see in the Is It subtram stations. You have arrived in the northern area of Sin Grove.
Alright. It's like, let's get this show on the road. He's like, so I just walk out. He's like,
Heading above ground, the northern area of Sin Grove is closer to the Red Waste than most of the other areas. So while there has reconstruction been going on, it is not as far along. There's the skeletons of many buildings around that give the whole area a kind of up-and-coming development feel. The open spaces of these buildings also allow visual sight that you would not normally be able to reach due to buildings being in the way. As such, it's fairly obvious when you emerge where the Skin Club is by the two more than half naked 15-foot tall giants standing outside of the club.
before we go further here, quick clarification about the tram. Is this on some sort of hey, we have a business and we want to pass for our members kind of situation, or do I want to go back down? I have to buy a ticket to go back home.
Well, you're a citizen of the fourth precinct, so as long as you're traveling within the fourth precinct, you don't have to pay any money.
Gotcha. All right.
It's just that they don't normally run trams to your newly minted station because it's a private
don't want
station
people
for you.
to have. Yeah. You don't want that to be made public. It's just have people get off at our we have a business, not a tram station.
Yeah.
We do need to look into getting a book goblin.
You would have to talk to the Demir about that.
Really?
Yeah, the Demir.
A private book goblin.
The Demir run information services, libraries, bookstores, and stuff like that. I mean, the Rakdos run things like nightclubs, spas, bathhouses, racetracks. All of them have some diversification.
So club, nightclub.
All right. As you approach the skin cage, you get the idea that this is very much a much more illicit Rakdos club from the two giants standing outside of it wearing basically leather thongs and posing. Both pretty well shaped for giants. You're used to, like, seeing hill giants that look like they are 800 pounds of flab. These guys are of a pretty lean body mass to muscle ratio. Think Arnold Schwarzenegger, but 15 foot tall.
I was
Young
thinking,
Arnold.
like,
Sorry, young Arnold, not...
all I could think of is that one fireworks expert in Bleach that just had this weird front door design. It's like,
Yeah, it's kind of like that, only instead of being like a design, it's two giants that are literally just like flexing outside.
Yeah. It's like,
In leather harnesses and thongs. It's fairly afternoonish. There is a one of those mandrill-looking demons that you saw in the gate at the entrance, kind of leaning on a podium, looking bored.
okay. Am I being impeded, or I was like,
I mean, are you going to try and go in?
that's what I'm here for.
Okay.
Yes.
So you head on up and say, club ain't open yet, buddy.
And I was like, the lady of the establishment. I was like,
Which one? We got a lot of ladies in this establishment. You want to meet with
head
one of the
honcho.
ladies?
I was like,
He stops.
I'm probably down there as Griggum. I was like,
He kind of stops, looks you over. Grin for me.
"Brr."
Huh. Well, you ain't one of ours.
Right, and that's why and that's apparently an issue, so that's why I'm here. It's like, because I was requested about that.
Yeah. Give me a minute. Enjoy the view. He kind of looks up at the two giants before hopping off of the podium and rambling inside. And while that's going on, Party B. What are y'all
Time to go
doing?
to District 2.
How y'all getting to District 2?
I mean,
I figured
anyone
we
need
just.
Wait, are you saying District
Sorry,
2
I
or
think-
Precinct 2? Just to confirm.
Precinct 2.
Okay, I was
So
about
I
to
think
say.
Fairder picked up the wand, and probably Rail picked up the Spy's Murmur to hold on to.
Why
Okay.
not hand it to Opal, rather?
She could have tuned on the ride, so that could make sense.
Given that she's the only one of us who doesn't.
Yeah, you want to do that, Opal?
Sure.
It'll let you talk to us in our heads and be super sneaky.
Oh. I like sneaky.
Huh, that's weird. I'm looking for
And Ingrid will go
Chauncey.
clip it on her ear.
It's not super comfortable.
Please do not set it on fire. It is extremely valuable.
Huh.
So I guess we
Why is Chow not
need
on
to
my-
take a tram to 2nd. So
Give me a second, please. For some reason, Chaw's NPC block didn't make it into my stream notes. Okay, so are y'all taking your sub-tram, or are y'all taking one of the public ones?
I guess we'll try ours out, right? What do y'all guys think?
Sure.
Do we need to take a public one in order to pay the fee since we're going into a different precinct?
Mm.
Let's get all that.
So you hunt down Cathal, so... Oh, hey, what up? What do you need?
We're going to Precinct 2 to go get some Azorius reports. You know, business stuff. Does our tram do that, or do we need to go to another tram so that we can like pay the precinct fee to go to a different precinct?
I mean, I can have one sent here and then sent to where y'all want, but you'll have to pay it when you get there.
Works.
Okay, this is a business thing. Griggum had me call one for him, to go within the neighborhood.
Definitely a business thing. We're going to get the lawmaster reports and talk to one of the Azorius to see if there's any, not on the books rumors.
Okay, well, we can do that. Yeah, and she kind of gets that little red stone that y'all have seen her, and she kind of like gets a distant look in her eye. Say, all right, should be here in about 10 minutes.
Okay, cool.
All right, you guys stay safe. If y'all going to be gone more than a day, I'll check in with you.
Thank you, Katal.
Okay. Don't burn anything down. She kind of goes back to writing in her notebook.
I'm going to whisper to Opal, don't worry, I think that was to all of us, not just you.
Alright, about 10 minutes after y'all... About 10 minutes after y'all talk to...
kind of reputation we should be...
Give me that again?
So I don't know if this is the kind of reputation we should be trying.
And yet it is the one that y'all have. About 10 minutes after she calls for the trams, one arrives in the station. You can pile on in, and there is a slight hiss as the door slides closed. Opal, just for record, this is like one of 3 times you've been on these things. So make me a dexterity saving throw, please, as it kicks off.
$27.
Okay.
I had to math.
That's not bad, not bad. Now make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh boy.
Oh, dear.
Okay, so you guys remember your first couple of times riding this? What'd you roll?
An 8.
Y'all kind of like, okay, yeah, kick off, brace yourself against the speed, fight off the wave of dizziness that hits you as, like, your body, the blood gets forced to your back. Opal, you kind of feel your heartbeat in your ear for a second, and then everything goes black as you pass out from the G-force.
Yay!
Marvelous is it technology?
Because it accelerated y'all to like a quarter of the speed of sound in a matter of seconds. Alright, Griggum, after about maybe...
that's what happened.
Yeah, it happened to Ingrid, I believe, too, at one point.
I know one of the times I was paralyzed already when I got put on, so there was that.
Griggum, after about 5-10 minutes of waiting, the mandrill-looking demon comes back out, climbs up. Hey. Upstairs on the right.
I'm sorry, I was muted, wasn't I?
Oh, no worries.
I said, alright, thank you very much. I just had...
The inside of the club, the entryway looks sort of like the gate club looked like, although there are far more pieces of art on the wall, and they are significantly more explicit. There's no goblin, demon, or anything like that behind the glass counter to take money from the door. Going past the little side door into the main entertainment area where the club had a small, maybe 30-foot stage, 40-foot stage. There is a 120-foot wide platform just in the center of this establishment with just a wide variety of cages and what looks like spiked chairs and racks and razor sharp hula hoops, it looks like, at one corner, just piled up. Go ahead.
No. Continue. I'm gonna wait till you finish.
At the back of the room, where the VIP stairway was for the gate, is a similar looking entryway. This one, however, leads up into the next level as opposed to down under the ground. The air smells faintly of copper here.
Ooh, boy, it's like the main thing that's sticking out in my mind right now is the fact that you're going through all this effort to describe this entire scenario, and it's wonderful. I was like, but the fact that you aren't showing me a map is like, means that you're not expecting anything tactical to happen right now. I still hope that nothing tactical to happen either. So up the stairs I go.
All right. You have dark vision, so the pitch black stairs are not too much of an impediment for you. However, about halfway up, you encounter a rather rotund-looking goblin just grinning at you with, like, the razor-sharp teeth of the crew that you had saw before.
Hello to you too. And I keep trying to move on.
He kind of steps back into the side. You still have to squeeze past him due to, like, just the size of his gut. And he follows.
Squeeze past him. I'm gonna front flip over him.
Make an acrobatics roll, because you're doing this upstairs.
Absolutely. So how does we do you?
At what?
At 23.
23? You just kind of, like, tap over the top of him, flipping and using the side of the walls as a kind of guide for landing. He watches you, turns around and follows you up the stairs as you continue up.
All right.
It feels like you traveled up more than one flight of stairs, even though this was a 2-story building. You've been climbing stairs for maybe 5 minutes now, with the goblin behind you.
I am keeping a regular rapping on the floor with my staff as I'm climbing, like, just in case, illusions and whatnot.
Make a perception check.
I'm so glad I got that trained. Yes! That's a 24. It's like,
You
I know
notice
that nat 20 isn't going to do me anything.
You notice as you're climbing that after a while you start to see marks in the stone, like something had impacted it just a few moments ago.
Like foot impact, or
It's just a small round, like maybe 1/2 inch to 1 inch round object.
so I stop and I examine this closer.
It looks like someone took a staff and just kind of stamped it on the thing, and it cleared some of the dirt and grime away.
I lift up my staff to kind of see if I can. Match, or
Yeah, it matches fairly well. There's like a little bit larger on the patch on the ground, like it got set down at one angle and picked up at another.
Hmm. Okay. Hold on a second. And kind of just... I was wondering if I could use stillness of the mind to like help give me clarity, but only if this is a charmed effect of some sort. I don't think that's the case. Sure as heck not frightened.
Do me a favor and make either a dexterity saving throw or either an athletics or a acrobatics check.
Acrobatics it is. Oh boy, 2 20s in a row. Let's see, 27.
27? Let's see, that is... Yeah, you feel something grip your back, the back of your shirt for a second, and just like shoulder over slip out of the grip.
Alright. So, can I about face?
Yep, go ahead. You turn around, that goblin that was behind you is still there. And I need you to... what is the save on that? Make a wisdom saving throw for me.
Okay. That's a 3. Had to happen some point.
You hear the laughter of the goblin, and it kind of settles into the back of your mind, and you start laughing back.
Ooh, what is this effect?
And it suddenly gets worse and worse until you're doubling over, just laughing maniacally.
What kind of effect is this?
This is Tasha's
hideous
laughter.
I have counters. Which means it does...
A creature of your choice that you can see within range perceives everything as hilariously funny and falls into fits of laughter if this spell affects it. The target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or fall prone, becoming incapacitated and unable to stand up for the duration. A creature with an intelligence score of 4 or less isn't affected. At the end of each of its turns and each time it takes damage, the target can make another wisdom saving throw. The target has advantage on the saving throws if it's triggered by damage. On a success, the spell ends.
Okay, so it's not a charm.
Nope.
Alright.
Okay, so Griggum doubles over in laughter. Let me just check. I believe incapacitated means you automatically fail strength and dexterity.
And he's prone.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I still can defend myself, because it's not so much that I'm not helpless.
Yeah, I just want to check incapacitated. Because... Come on. There we go. Incapacitated, you can't take actions, and what else? Incapacitated, can't take actions or reactions. Okay, that's it then. So it is going to try and grapple you again. You can either make a acrobatics or God damn it! You closed down the thing on acrobatics or athletics roll again. But you are prone, so it gets advantage on it.
Can I argue against? No, never mind. Go for it. It's even a melee attack roll either. It's okay.
Yeah. All right. No, he's still not rolling too great. That's only a.
You said disadvantage. It's
Yeah. No, wait. He has advantage. He has
advantage.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's still just a 15.
17. I rolled a 10 plus 7. It's like, so this is basically me drunk
Yeah.
rolling around. It's like,
He's trying to grab you, and you just keep like slapping his hand away, laughing and squirming.
squirming,
Yeah.
rolling, just
He hasn't damaged you, so you don't have advantage on it, but you can go ahead and make a wisdom saving throw again.
12?
Nope.
Alright. It's like,
He's going to
figures.
keep trying to grab you, and that is a plus 1. That is a 18. So either roll athletics or acrobatics again.
Acrobatics. And it ended up with a... goodness gracious. I was like, I'm probably going to have to switch die because this is rolling too well. Let me do some quick math. I'm like, so 22?
22? Yeah. That
Yeah, that's 15 plus 7, right? 22? Like,
yeah.
yeah. It's like,
Yeah, man, he just can't get a grip on you.
whoever is watching this that cannot through this illusion is probably having a hell of a fun time. It's like, because it's like, this guy couldn't be any more incapacitated. Why are you having so much trouble?
Alright.
What kind of Butterfinger's fat goblin?
It doesn't help that I haven't rolled anything higher than like a 16 or 17. That is a 15 on the next grapple attack as he continues to try and grab a hold of you.
And I think I need to make a wisdom saving throw either way.
You will make your athletics or acrobatics.
Let's see. 21.
21? Oh, nope. That is a third failure. Go ahead and make your wisdom saving throw.
This is my second wisdom saving throw since being charmed. How's a 19 do you?
That'll break it.
Finally.
So that's at the end of your turn. You break it. Like you get it. And the goblin, frustrated while you are still prone, launches himself at you with a bite attack. And that is a natural 20. So that is...
Ooh.
I need to get
He
a
bit
number.
you. Who bites? Oh,
It has razor sharp steel teeth.
When all you have is a hammer.
Come on.
honestly, who throws?
That is 17 plus 5. That is 23 damage.
Yeah.
As it just launches himself at you and chomps razor sharp teeth down on your neck.
At which point I go, all right, that's crossing the line. And I am going to. He's like, I'm prone, but I can stand up as a.
I
know
believe
I
it
have an
costs you
ability that
5
lets me
feet.
stand from.
Yeah, you can get up with 5
Yeah,
feet.
from,
movement.
Okay,
being
the thing is, yeah. Like I'm trying to figure out where it is because D&D Beyond, fantastic resource, sometimes puts places and things where it's like,
I believe it's under feats.
Yeah. So,
yeah, I'm looking at features and traits. Yeah, it's Tipsy Sway, which under actions it says one thing, but features gives us the full thing.
Okay.
I'm able to like stand up, like spending 5 feet of movement rather than half speed. And unfortunately, it did not miss. But like, what would it take to suplex this fucker?
You would have. That's what he was trying to do. So, you would have to. Your athletics roll would have to beat his acrobatics or athletics.
All right. It's like, well, it's like, let's see how you like it. So I'm going to use the ancient mystical art of the German suplex on him.
What's the
And
German?
that's a 16.
That beats his 9. You grab him.
And then, yep.
Okay. Now that you have him, lifting him and stuff like that's going to be a little bit more difficult. I want you to make a athletics roll, but add your attack modifier.
Ooh, it's like, so combined, it's like,
Well, don't double your proficiency.
or just yeah. That's what I'm kind of worried about. So attack. Would this be my strength attack or my dexterity?
Dexterity.
Attack? Okay.
Because you're a monk and monks do insane shit.
Okay, here we go. Plus 8. That is 22. It's like
22. That'll definitely, like, you lift him and you, like, over the top of your head towards the stairs. Go ahead and make me a, make your damage roll. You're a monk, so you use your monk dice.
okay. It's like D6 plus 4. I don't get any further damage bonus. So it's like, so I willfully toss both of us downstairs. How's 9 do ya? Like,
So y'all are... Okay, he takes 9 damage. You said you're doing it down the stairs, right?
well, only if that gives me a bonus in damage.
Y'all both take fall damage.
Okay.
Okay. You basically,
So
like...
slow
whoop.
fall, so
Yeah. You take no damage from the fall because it's slow fall. He takes an additional, because you had climbed for quite a while, 9 damage. So that's 18 total that he's taken. He's looking roughed as you tumble down the stairs, and then everything suddenly inverts, and you land with a set of stairs going down behind you in a upper room of the club.
and
Go ahead.
on my feet, and I'm like, "What are you gonna do now, brother?"
He is looking rough. He's like, at the other side of the room, there is this gorgeous-looking woman with just very almost ruby skin. Thigh-high laced boots, a black leather bustier with metal trimmings, a long pair of gloves with metallic nails at the fingertips on each arm. They go up to her mid-arm. Violently red hair, cut like very tight, like 2 weeks after a buzz cut has grown out. With just pure red eyes. And behind her wells this just massive shadow that fills almost the entire back of the 20-foot wide room.
So now I heard violently red hair, and I know what we're trying to go for, but at the same time, I'm picturing either a hair that is either on fire or manages to make 2 fists and be like, "Come on."
I mean, you don't know what custom stuff I've been doing.
Oh goodness, sounds like it's a white hair witch all over again, but red. She dyes it. So I'm still kind of like stance ready.
So, Most people that come to see me are a little less rough on my doorman.
Well, when your doorman tries to throw me back down some stairs,
And yet here you are upstairs. Quite the fun little prank.
yeah, I mean, if I didn't see my own footwork on the stairs before that happened, I probably wouldn't have figured it out.
So, she kind of
And if
looks
this
at the
Joker
goblin,
and I
and
just kind of
she looks at the goblin, and he kind of like chuckles, and he's getting himself up.
getting what?
Oh, he's pushing himself up, the goblin.
Yeah, and I said, if it wasn't for this little fucker, and I just kick him, I probably would have come down by myself.
Make a damage roll.
I'm not kicking to hurt, I'm kicking to emphasize.
Okay.
Hardly sporting of me to beat him while he's down in front of his employer.
So
I kick up my staff, which probably clattered down with us. I was grab it and then put it on my shoulder. I was all right. I was so you called me here.
mm-hmm.
Let's get to business. I was
First off, we want to make it clear that we're sorry for that mess with Herket a few years back. I don't know if you ever actually got a formal apology for that.
well, now, so water under the bridge.
Speaking of water and other wet things, we're told that you were out there performing with a member of a troop from another ring. I mean, surely you realize that public performances have to be approved by multiple ringmasters. It is part of the check and balance of making sure no one gets too full of themselves.
Well, I kind of take a look over the bottle in my hand. I'm exactly in the best decision-making state at the time, and I am here to make actions, as it may be.
That is wonderful. She kind of folds her hands together, leans back. So simply pay back what you made to the Rakdos that did have permission to perform.
So, I take a swig of my bottle, and I use its healing effect right now, because I got my shoulder chomped on. So it was 2d4 plus 2?
Yep.
These new dice are hot. Okay, 9.
Okay, that's not
Of
bad.
a possible 10. Yeah, 9 out of a possible 10, yes. I, so, I'm just I take a moment to think, because I'm pretty sure, this sounds so bad, but I have the money, but not right now.
So are you saying that?
Really?
I was
Wait, you seriously don't have...
All he has is a promissory note, I believe.
yeah.
Just seeing Han Solo. So
Yeah.
of course I can get the money. I don't have it.
Yeah, here's the thing. It's like, I then kind of foot the ground, and I'm like, and I hold up the staff, and it's like, I have not the money on hand right now, but it's like, I can give you this. And it's like,
I don't want
Isn't-
anything.
a peerless item.
I'm not the Rakdos that you performed with.
Hmm.
She's the one that needs to be paid.
Absolutely. I was like, well, it so happens she's also under our employee, so I can give her a bonus. And that's not too much of a problem. I was like, as well as some extra items. And I was like,
Well, whatever it takes to make it up to her. Just want to make sure
Absolutely.
that, none of ours is being trampled under the foot of the herd.
of course not. It's like, that's one thing we, like, in the Second Sight Agency, try to avoid. It's like, which goes to show, which, considering the recent invasion, like, our members have been well looked after, it's like, to say the least. It's like,
I would think so. It's quite the nice bathhouse.
yes. So I've been told. It's like, I've been visiting. It's like,
Is that everything then?
yes, that'll be everything. It's like,
Hmm.
from me, anyway. It's like,
Well, feel free to stop on back on by. Plenty of family here would love to see you around.
oh, I'm sure. And I look over at, Jaws over here. He's like, oh, I'm sure.
Oh, the Bite Gang. Oh, speaking of gangs, if you happen to see Victeres again, tell her we miss her.
Pass that along.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And she kind of does this, and the shadow at the back of the room starts sliding forward towards you.
I just, it either is taking me back out or it's going embracing it.
There is a cold energy that washes over you. It hurts, but not enough to do damage. And then suddenly the shadow starts shrinking and visibly warping as it worms its way into the doorway behind you and then down the stairs. So you can go out now.
Oh, yeah, certainly. I just start making my way out.
The stairway is cold, icy cold, but you easily transverse down to the first level now.
Yeah.
So while that is going on, Opal, you've passed out on the train. A couple people are looking at you. Oh, wait, yeah, it's been about 2 hours, actually. Here, how about this? We will pick up with Opal not being passed out in about 15 minutes when we get back from our short break. I hope everyone has been enjoying the game as much as I have. I have enjoyed splitting the party. It's all good.
Don't you know you never...
Look, that only applies when we're doing dungeon stuff.
Yeah. Not when you're going to
Sure.
a dungeon.
Not none of the what is it? It's none of the in between bits. All right.
Yeah. But hey, we've cleared up one mysterious
Not
figure.
down to.
We've cleared up one mysterious figure from Griggum's past and have almost immediately encountered a new one.
For my future.
Development.
So we'll be back in about, say, 15 to 20 minutes, depending on how long people take to eat and return. We will roll some ads during this break. Sorry, but thank you for sticking through them because they help make us a little money, and that really helps with things like fancy layouts and computers that don't shut off halfway through a stream. We'll be back.
Also, like lighting and stuff.
Your lighting. Anyway,
He does need lighting.
Yeah, we'll be back in a few minutes. Thanks for sticking with us. I hope you have been having a lot of fun. I know I have been laughing my ass off. We'll be back in a bit.
Okay.
Click the intermission.
Take care.
Turn off their audio. Turn off my audio.
Cool.
Hello.
Me. And we're back.
Hello,
Hi, everyone.
lovely people.
That went a little over. That was my fault. I gave people permission to do things. Therefore, it is my fault. Okay. Well, don't need that.
Oh, I may have crushed my game.
What did?
Can you still
Tux?
hear me?
Tux, are you there? Can you hear me? Tux?
Can you
Can
guys
you hear
hear me?
Tux, can you hear me?
I
Yes,
wear
we can.
fair, dear.
Well, then you're just ruining
Quit
my
messing
fun.
with him. Come on, we're back on the clock. Don't mess with fair, dear. You can tease him plenty of other times.
I'm a freelancer. I'm always on the clock.
Eh.
Anyway, where was I? If you live in the North Charlotte area, I am for hire to be a DM. Or South Charlotte, or anywhere in the Charlotte area. Every city that is named Charlotte, in any part of the world. I'm talking about you, Charlotte, off of 3 miles south of Glasgow. I am both there and here in North Carolina.
One.
So, Griggum finishes his business with the Skin Cage. Skin Cage? Was that the name of it? Was it Skin Cage
So,
or
yeah.
Flesh?
That's a lovely name for a night.
It's
This
not a
is
nightclub.
Skin Cage.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Skin Cage. I almost went with the Flesh Garden, but that was apparently used in something else, and I didn't want to worry about copyrights. So everyone else was
such
going.
lovely name.
I appreciate it. Everyone else was going to Precinct 2, to literally Police Headquarters International, after burning down a nightclub. To ask a high-ranking police officer for a favor. Did I miss any of that?
Child loves me.
Child loves everyone.
Yep.
Alright, so Opal, having passed out on the train, eventually comes to just shortly after y'all arrive as G-Forces.
I told Reeve it's attunement sickness. Keeps making people pass out on trains. He doesn't listen.
I mean, you don't seem to be.
What's the background sound?
I don't know, but I'm curious. It's... I'm hearing someone talking. And it sounds like a TV show. And I'm thinking it's Tux.
It ain't from me.
Ain't for me.
Oh, we're going to be demonetized now. No, I'm kidding. We're fine. It was probably one of the multiple GIFs I posted. I don't know. I don't listen to... I keep my GIFs muted. Opal wakes up after y'all arrive in Precinct 2. Precinct 2, heart of District 10's police services, has a wonderful guild house named New Prov, which contains the 3 bodies of the Azoria Senate that I will not try to pronounce, but it's essentially judges, lawyers, and police officers. Stepping outside of the subtram, there is an Izzet Goblin there. There is... Wait, not an Izzet Goblin. Well, yes, actually, there is an Izzet Goblin taking tickets. There's also a Book Goblin. They are kind of standing near each other and chatting idly. There is the perpetual food vendor, street meat dude with, like, something that looks a little bit like fantasy tacos. I was
Need to
expecting...
pay our ticket.
You pay the 1 Xeno fee for trans... you almost got me to say district. Trans precinct travel. The goblin thanks you and then goes back to flirting with the book goblin. I don't know why I am doing this voice, but I am doing this voice now.
And then we bug the book goblin and pick up the latest Zaldi. I assume that Fairdeer is following me.
Yep.
No, the next one. Number
okay.
4.
Okay, I was about to say you're going to jump 4 and 5? Okay. Number 4 is Zaldi Half Angel returned to the fire and has to deal with Zaldi's return to the Boros Legion after her affair with the Rakdos Half Demons. It is 25 silver, I believe. Or 5 silver. I don't know, I have to find my book. Where's my book? How much was the last one? Do you remember?
I think I have it written down somewhere, but we can check later.
It's the same price as the last one. I want to say it's 25 silver. That sounds right to me, but I'm fairly sure you will correct me if I'm wrong.
1 silver piece per volume.
And each one is 5. So yeah, 5 silver.
Because they were penny novels because they started at a copper, but then they were a collection.
Okay.
So it was 1 silver.
Oh, right. Yes. Okay. So yeah, 1 silver. Wow, that would have been
1 silver
lot.
for... if Fairdeer's getting it too. I don't know.
I mean, keep in mind, these are short, like, semi-trashy, pulp fiction-y novels that they're collecting, like, into a thing.
Oh, you're on the same one now, Fairdeer. That was quite a turn. She was fighting the demons, and then it got all romancy.
Of note, at the end of...
Shame they dropped some of the political intrigue.
Of note, at the end of the third one... Of note, at the end of the third one, there is a demon mentioned named Devoted.
Funny you should...
Well, that's fun.
But no, please, continue what you were going to say.
I was just going to say, Fairdeer, it's a shame you never got to do that plot with the books with Rail. That would have been funny.
I don't know what you're talking about.
She says, standing 3 feet away from the highly perceptive Rail.
What plot with what books?
I don't know what she's talking about.
I have to
tell?
watch
Deception roll. 14
All right,
on
we're gonna do this
deception
in-
roll.
Okay.
I generally
Role
don't
play.
let
See.
players really seriously roll deception or stuff against each other, but if y'all want to, I will allow this. Or I generally don't
That
encourage
was a 14
it.
on the deception.
Well, I mean, you would be insight, right, Rail?
That was a 14 on deception.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's rolling insight to see if he buys it.
Yes, that was a 14 on your deception.
Yes.
Well, I got a 14 on the insight. So how does that work?
Meets the beat. Wait. I did not just say meets to
Can you
beat out
guys hear
loud,
me?
did I? Can you hear me?
No.
Fair dude,
Yes.
can you hear me?
Yes.
Fair dear, can you hear me? I see your mouth moving.
Stop it again. I'm gonna hand Rail the first 3 books from mine and tell him, it gets a little steamy on the 3rd, and then I'll whisper to him, there's a demon named Devoted in it.
There's also, at the very first one, a half-angel whose last name is Bright Soul, whose mother is a Boros commander named Asaf.
Let him figure out that part. I didn't tell him that part.
It's literally at, like, one of the first pages in the first book.
Why exactly were you keeping this?
Ingrid failed her I intuit this is the same Bright Soul kind of check. So she's like, huh?
It's almost like the party needs to communicate with you. You guys are great at teamwork and horrible at communication.
Just like in real life.
I think you like book 3.
Not false. Alright. So Rail is going to read it in his own time. We can leave that for another time to read. He's not going to start reading?
Is Rail going to start reading it?
He said not now.
Right now. He will read it on the trip back. How about that?
That's fine with me. Okay. Sorry, I'm just loading my phone back into the stream so that I can watch the stream on my phone to make sure. Wow, it's super choppy.
I feel like
a little choppy for me as well.
she's handing it to him mostly in case it does have a description of devotion, since he was flirting with him. So she's like, here's the books.
It's literally just
Wait,
devoted.
he was flirting with devotion?
I'm streaming at 48 FPS. What the hey? That doesn't sound right. I will tinker with it later.
There?
There's no description in it. It's just mentioned that there's a Rakdos ringleader named Devoted.
Somebody's obviously using some divination magic to write.
These books are sent 500 years in the past.
Somebody obviously was using divination magic to write. I mean, the books are coming out now.
The books have been out for a while.
They're just set in the past.
Yes. The books have been out over the past several years. This is volume... She gave you volume 1. She is currently on volume 4 of the 6-volume series, each volume comprising a year's worth.
I gave him 1, 2, and 3, just for the record.
Okay. So volume 1 came out 6 years ago, roughly, in 10,070. Oh my god, y'all are finally talking about the book series I spent so much time actually writing information on.
Valora said not to get caught up in his stuff because he's probably powerful, by the way. Just since we found that out after the whole thing, I figured I'd let you know.
Not to get caught up in whose stuff, devotion.
I was doing my usual recap of all our stuff to Valora, and she said to try not to get caught up in devotion stuff.
You're recapping all of our stuff for...
He's like, wait,
Yeah.
You tell your mom everything?
She really likes the funny story about Fairdeer and the arrow. It's one of my favorites.
Okay.
The one where Fairdeer
When we get the
violently
chance, I'm
shot
gonna have to teach
himself
you
in
about a
the...
concept called client confidentiality. Because, dang.
You're leaking information worse than the dream.
Considering they read all our dreams, probably not. And we know they read our dreams because they told us.
And the Demir never lie about stuff.
Of course not. Absolutely trustworthy.
I only think of that last one because I'm in constant fear of you. It's like, oh, I steal souls and
So y'all have arrived at the grounds of New Prov as the DM struggles to get this game rolling again.
So we know where Cha is, but we wouldn't necessarily go in the gate. So I guess we need to find a messenger. See if she's busy or not, or on duty.
It's early enough in the day that she's probably on duty. You know that she is a captain, that she oversees a small contingency force based in the local area. Your best bet would either be to head towards her apartment, her office in New Prov, or the center of the area that she captains out of. I don't think that was the right term for it, but yeah.
If she's at duty, we don't want to go to her apartment. We don't necessarily want to try to go in the headquarters to her office right away. We could go to her area, or we could look around for a general paperwork depot and start trying to find out on our own where we would get some reports. I mean, it's a published bounty, so it shouldn't be too hard to get some reports from it. Basically, do we want to try to get Cha to help us figure out where we do the reports, or do we want to do some legwork first?
Huh. I'm assuming you're talking to Rail or Fairdeer or Opal.
Yeah. That was all in
So
here.
I've lost video for Faraday.
I assume
Yeah,
I heard
me
a
too.
crash and he ran away, so I assume something happened.
Yeah. Sorry, I was also taking a sip of tea, so I missed a little bit of that. Run that by me again.
So we probably don't want to go to her apartment while she's on duty. And we probably don't want to try to wander around and find her office. In the middle of the headquarters, because that seems like that would get a lot of questions. So we could either go to the area that she works at and just see if we run into her or her squad, or we could do some of our own legwork and try to find a place that would hand out more info and reports with associated bounties.
Let's do a little bit of legwork on it. I think that's a good.
So what's your plan? Demir
Can't hurt to
information
poke around
broker, newspaper, random person on the street.
Well, a newspaper would probably be a good idea too. You got trained in documenting stuff. Where do they keep records?
That's an excellent question. Do I know that the answer?
Make a history check for me.
Just
Sorry,
flag
make
down
more
a newspaper while he's thinking about it.
yeah.
Sorry, GM. What was the
History.
what was the role?
History.
History. I really should have taken history or either history or religion instead of nature. They both come in handy more often.
Yeah, who would have thought you don't need a lot of
That
nature in this
is
city? A 20?
That's a total of 14.
14. Well, you do not
But you
know.
wanted to be a druid.
You do not know the exact location of where it would be. However, having grown up among the Orzhov, you do know that there is a archive of reported incidents that is stored within New Prov. Likely in the paralegal section. This
And is
includes
this open to
incidents
the
that
public?
have not yet occurred. Nothing in New Prov is open to the public.
Dang.
However,
Uh,
lawyers pursuing a case do have access to the archives.
right, but are we technically pursuing a case right now? Or can we?
Are you
The
a
question
lawyer?
is, what does it take for you to be a lawyer?
Well, you could ask Clefa. She's a lawyer.
All right, well, I meant to ask. So now that Rael is part of the Ors. Yay. Exactly what position does he have within the Orzhov? Yeah.
Due to family connections, you literally have priest rank. You have 50 reputation. I think that's
Okay, so
50.
he's
Yikes!
because I remember one of them was specifically basically religious lawyer.
Yeah.
Having trouble getting the page to open up to double check.
Yeah, like, it's not a, you earned this location. This is a, mommy is going to be a ghost soon and sit on the council.
Yeah. Where was it though? Oh, they're advocate.
Advocate.
So Clefa is an advocate.
Yes, she has medical training, but she is technically an advocate.
Right, whereas Rael is actually a priest, not an advocate, not an advocist.
Yeah.
So he's qualified as a lawyer, but not actually a lawyer,
Yeah.
legally speaking.
It's one of those, like, I could pass the bar if I wanted to bother taking the bar situations.
Alright. And right, so I'm
I
more hearing confessions take.
And doling out penance, yes. In the form of debts. Or obligations.
Yep.
Which
More
you then collect
obligations.
and then distribute as fit among the faithful. You also
Yep,
have a
because that's just exactly what I always want.
You also have a bank account that earns 5% interest per year.
Sheesh. All right, indulgences.
Yeah.
Of course. But you know what? Yeah. So Clefa isn't in this.
Clefa resides in
this area.
4th Precinct. She stays
And-
and works at the Kind Cat.
Right, and
Because
we're
that is where
in
her
the 2nd
client is.
precinct.
Yes.
So we would need to hit up another train to get there. Which I
Hey,
don't
you have
think
those
Opal is
magic postcards?
true.
Magic through
But those tend to take a little bit of time to go through.
the magic of the
I
postal
don't want
system.
to take all.
Which Ingrid really believes in.
It's amazing. You write something down on it, drop it in a box, and sometime 2 to 3 days later, it shows up at the address that you write on it.
All thanks to the mail fairy.
Which was the newspaper?
I'm sorry, what?
Man, I really should have prepared
I was
sending
saying that
today.
I wanted to go and get a newspaper while he was
5 silver.
thinking back on that. Okay.
Okay. I think this is the first time any of y'all have actually bought or looked at a newspaper. Give me a second. You are in the 1st precinct, so...
Second, and I think
Second, yeah.
Griggum did.
Okay, so 2nd precinct news includes the following. A dead body has been found off of 10th Street, partially dismembered, with carvings made into the skin. The deceased did not belong to a member of a guild, but is suspected to have been a member of one of several gangs that operate on 10th Street. Information on what was carved into the skin, as well as the location and the name of the deceased, has been withheld for investigation purposes. There's also a funny little comic about like a goblin that buys and sells bombs getting blown up. Let's see here now. There is.
I throw away that page before Griggum joins us.
Is Griggum going to join y'all?
He might, so I'm going to throw away that page.
Let's see here. There is a full page thing with a countdown to the celebration of the Guild Pact on it, as well as several coupons for shopping and suggested visitation places on the Millennial platform once the new tokens are delivered. Speaking of Griggum, after you leave the flesh...
I still haven't gone up there.
Or after you leave the skin cage, Griggum, what are you doing? Just heading back home?
For the time being, yes, because as strong as was incredibly nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
So I need a moment to decompress, head home, maybe like do some meditation, visit
a bar,
visit my home. Bar works as well. Like.
I want to see,
and maybe do a little legwork more closer to the guild list rather than the law, the Azorius. Like, you know.
Yeah, I kind of want us to see make a shirt that says "I believe in the male fairy." Someone add that to the merch ideas.
Ingrid's face on there, and it's like.
I believe in a male fairy because it's not the is it.
So I think I know how to fix the 40 frames per second issue, but I don't think I can do it while we are streaming, and I don't know what it will do to the stream when I fix it. That said, Griggum heads home and enjoys a little free time, we will say, while everyone else is reading newspapers. Clap your hands if you believe. So
go ahead and take the newspaper to Chaw's district, and we'll read there out like at an outdoor place or something. Maybe we'll run into them.
Okay, so
never know.
A few things. Cookie, I want a male fairy emoji for the chat. I think that would be one of our good emoji ideas. Alright, y'all find this nice little outdoor bistro that costs you like a silver for a cup of coffee. Or sorry, not a silver. 5 silver for a cup of coffee. I actually have the price points of stuff pulled up for once. Let me check. Cup of coffee. Oh, no, I was way off. 10 copper. It costs you 10 copper pieces for a basic cup of coffee, so the fancy coffee would be, 1 silver. A silver for a cup of coffee. You're in the 2nd precinct. Everything is more expensive here.
But do they make the cup of coffee in a proper cup?
No, they make it at the table with like a little metal coffee press thing, and grind the grounds for you at table. Heat up the water, pour it, and the whole thing is like a big whole production, and then they do like a little cream stencil on the top.
I would like to cash. Go ahead. I would like to cash in my lifestyle for a coffee carafe and a small sandwich platter.
Okay. So you get a coffee carafe and a small sandwich platters. The platters include several sliced meats, as well as cucumber and tea sandwiches. There are also several tea eggs, which, if you do not know, a tea egg is a egg that has been hard-boiled in a pot of tea.
That sounds either terrible or delicious, and I'm not sure which.
I actually really want to try one. I haven't had one.
It's very British, I'm told.
I mean, that, again, when it comes to British food, it's either going to be terrible or delicious. There's not really any middle.
I find I like German food a lot. Especially like sausages and sauerkraut and cabbage-based stuff. It's just the best.
Personally, I'm a big fan of currywurst.
Oh yeah, no, I made some. Cookies can tell you that I made a kind of basic Italian dish last night that was just like cut up chicken with egg noodles in a creamy lemon sauce. She cleaned her bowl. She was a good girl.
I didn't set fire to it either.
It's true. I almost set fire to the stove, so I had to break down and clean the stove. I've been firing a lot of bacon and stuff. So, y'all sit down, y'all read the newspaper, you kind of pass out the section so each of you has a, like, sitting there holding a single sheet of newspaper. That's the only story that you find that could possibly be related to the Lawmaster, as near as you can tell. Everything else is talking about next month's celebration of the Guild Pact, fashion news, gossip from among the guilds. Interesting enough, there is a story about a Orzhov priest who has returned and is trying to build his flock again.
Save you this clipping? Is this you?
Of course, for liability purposes,
No,
there is no one actually named.
Do we need to start a scrapbook?
I feel like we should save this clipping for you, Priest Corvino.
Hey, Opal, do me a favor.
Yes.
No, you can't burn it, Opal. Don't burn it.
Burn it.
No.
I'm
Alright.
getting mixed
Burn
signals
it.
here.
Alright, it looks like Tux is not
Dude,
going to
James
be
wanted
able
make it
to
look like there's
return.
like an acrobat or something on it.
Yep. Rail is going to grab it. Sleight of hand.
Speaking of sleight of hand,
I want an opposed sleight of hand for this.
it would be a perception check to see if you see him grab it.
Wanted an opposed sleight of hand, but okay.
Well, if you're trying to move it before he grabs it,
Well, do I have to do a perception to see if he is? Like, I'm holding it and we're talking about it, so...
I would say that since he is not trying to, there's no way to stealthily remove it from your hand, this is an opposed acrobatics check.
Opposed acrobatics check. We'll see.
Okay.
14.
There's a lot
Some
more
rolling sleight of
PvP today than I expected. No, acrobatics. You can't sneak this out from her because she is very aware of it. Sleight of hand is if you're trying to do something stealthily. This is basically just trying to grab it out of her hands.
And here, what kind of Mickey Mouse shit is? I face off against a demon, and it's like, what, 10 minutes of talk, and it's like, you guys are going to look up, papers, and you're spending how many hours fighting each other?
All right, so that's 6 acrobatics versus Ingrid. What's your acrobatics?
14.
18. Like she just basically
14.
like, nope. As Rail tries to grab it.
I put it in my bag of holding because no one else can activate that one.
You go,
So I'm not burning anything?
You can burn this really bad goblin comic.
It is super racist.
I'll get it.
Specious.
Watcher, keep an eye on him.
Watcher follows instructions, lands on Rail's shoulder, and makes intense, deliberate eye contact.
Okay, could we? You know what? Let's just go to what's their face, because then we'll be bothering them instead of bothering
Go to where?
He wants to find Cha.
whatever their name was.
Cha Meriden.
Oh, she
Cha
works
Meriden.
around here somewhere.
Yeah, y'all kind of distracted
It was
yourselves from
absolutely
looking for a police officer.
Being bad with names and not the player.
Yeah.
Ah,
Could that be why it's been so choppy whenever I try and run Warframe or one of the other ones? Is it the low frames per second?
she's gonna wait till they actually get up and then handrail back the piece of paper. She was just being a pain in the butt. She didn't actually want to keep it.
Good lord, y'all are like siblings. It's perfect.
Produce flame. Poof.
And then faintly, about
Burn
half a
it.
block away, at a street corner, you can hear a child crying out, "Priest returns to flock, looking for new members." As this is a paper that is being publicly sold.
I think he was just concerned about Ingrid having a hold of the article. It's probably not even
I'm
you.
just preparing
this is
us off so bitch.
This is Precinct 2. It's probably not even you.
I'm just preparing us off.
So I guess we'll, since we've had lunch now, we'll walk around and see if we see any officers, Cha included.
You're unlikely to see Cha out on the street. However, there are there's sort of watch posts every few streets. There is like maybe small little 3-room buildings with a officer standing outside. That these are essentially like holding cells until they can get someone transport to one of the larger cells. So you don't actually have to go terribly far to find a law mage. If you want to go and find a law mage.
Yeah! Go and find a law
That was
mage.
the whole reason we were.
They're completely reasonable and pretty easy to find, and generally pretty happy to interact with the public in general. The nearest one you approach is this kind of, it's hard to tell of Vishino's age because the scale texture of their skin doesn't do like human stuff, but the coloring of their scale is kind of graying almost, looking dull. It's wearing a blue robes with the silver etching of the law mage with a pair of cuffs and a badge on its belt. It looks at you. Yes.
Oh. Do you know if Cha Meriden is working around here today? Or where she'd be posted?
Captain Cha is at the chapter house. Did you need to file a report?
And that's not their.
Not the guild house, the chapter
No,
house.
we were actually going to ask. We were actually going to ask her how we get access to reports if we want to pick up a bounty or something.
Bounties are handled through the Boros boards, unless it has been issued by the Azoria Senate, in which case it is a limited bounty that is only available to select personnel. Sorry. Good lord, I'm unlearning everything I learned in speech therapy doing Vashina voices.
Okay, our limited bounty that is only available
To specific personnel. Basically, they will hire bounty hunters and say, like, whoever catches this person gets this reward. But it's not a general bounty to the public. It's only to X, Y, or Z people that they have worked with or trust.
I had thought from the briefing that this was one of the ones that the Zorius was more invested in. So I guess this is a Boros bounty?
No.
I'm asking you from like our understanding from the original meeting.
Boros bounties and jobs are available on the Boros job boards. This and what Cathal told you is that the Azorius Senate has issued a warrant for the capture or proof of demise of the Lawmaster to y'all.
Okay. So then this would be a specific one, so we could go to where did he say for specific ones?
You would need a copy of the writ that the Azorius Senate would have sent over, and to take it to New Prov. The Documancer would have known that if you were accessing New Prov directly, you would have to have the writ. He also has access to a magical document of a magical satchel of prepared documents.
So would that include like the original or a copy of?
I would assume
said writ,
so.
Or?
Yeah. Just to confirm, Rail, what does the Documancer satchel do?
The Documancer satchel at rank.
Yes, you are rank 2.
Let's see. According to the item description, it becomes a common magical item, allowing me to magically send and receive documents to and from head office through a satchel pouch. It magically produces pre-written and signature-ready contracts at my request, covering most common contractual needs. It also occasionally produces sticky notes printing with useful information and inspirational quotes.
So this would be like a get it from head office kind of move?
Yeah, and head office would be Cathal, because she manages your office.
Yeah, I can also, I believe, use it for augury once a day.
I would have to read
Okay,
it.
that's cool. That could give us 3 accurate predictions among us, if so. Okay, so so you can produce the writ, and so where do we take this writ? We take it to New Prov, and we just like go to the front and we show it to them?
If you have a writ, take it to New Prov and request access to the incident archives at the main desk. You will have to produce the writ, but then they will take you there and a curator will assist you on your search.
That.
Oh, thank you.
Take care, citizen. And then they kind of go back to just kind of standing watch at the corner, keeping an eye on things.
Well, I guess this is your show now, Rael.
Oh dear. Oh.
So you're sending a...
Let's
wow,
go
I have
for
unlearned
that.
everything. I'm hissing my S's again. So
You
you're
must
going
unlearn everything that you have.
No, I need to relearn because I unlearned everything to do a Vishino. So you send a message to... I'm very aware of every S now. S. You send a message to Cathal through the Documancer satchel requesting a copy of the writ. Yes? Alright. It comes back a second
Okay.
later with a copy of the writ, as well as a little note that says, "You do your best every day."
I very much do.
It is not in.
All
It
right.
is not in.
So let's take this writ where it needs.
The note is not in Cathal's handwriting.
Why am I somehow not?
So you now have a copy
Thanks, Mom.
of writ of warrant for the lawmaster.
Okay.
Proceeding
So now we need
to
to.
New Prov. You enter the office and head to, while I cannot remember the exact term for it, is essentially the lawyer half of the place. Come on, machine.
I am doing my best to just like track where we are and write it down in the notebook. Because I have a feeling this is like a big complex.
It is huge. It's like a 50-story tall 3-tower complex with interconnecting lines between each of the towers. The lines are open
Well, you can help with this
walkways.
too, Opal, right?
Don't look at me.
This too, Opal, right? They were training you with maps.
Did we lose Opal?
She seems to be muted.
My sound just kicked back on.
Hi.
Okay. I was saying you could maybe help me
Welcome
with
back.
tracking where we are in this big complex now that you're trained as our cartographer.
And I will add the proficiencies and necessary equipment later. I have a lot of stuff on my plate. I'm doing a one-shot later today in Eberron.
Ooh.
Okay.
I can attempt.
Is it going to be an all doppelganger? So the all changeling party.
Okay.
Would be fun.
So y'all proceed to the Jalen column. The one of the 3 columns that form New Prov. The ground level is technically open to public as people can walk in. It's a very simple layout with blue and silver highlighted pieces around set around the thing. A few chairs for people to sit in as they wait, and a long desk behind which sits a surprisingly small-looking minotaur with a tiny pair of spectacles on the nose. He kind of looks up at you and says,
This is Second Sight Agency. We're here with the writ. And she points to Rail.
That we are.
"Are you going to hand over the writ?"
Maybe. Yes, I'm going to hand over the writ.
It takes it, and it's like a little piece of tissue paper in its hands. It like grips the... Alright, seems in order. Stairway on the left. Floor 32. And he passes it back.
Okay. Which floor are we going to?
32.
Elevators aren't a thing in this setting, are they?
Not here.
I was about to say, this is a... Is it, like, existing? Likely not.
I'm
If
giving
they-
myself guidance on athletics.
Okay, then.
For the sake of
We gotta
expediency,
get ourselves some...
I need everyone to make me Constitution saving throws who are climbing the stairs.
Gosh dang. Okay. All right. Nope, I
11.
missed the box entirely and lose my die somewhere in the couch. That is a 13.
I throw my whole backpack in the bag of holding first, though, so I am carrying like almost no weight.
He goes as it swallows the
Sorry.
thing.
Is it okay?
Does that give me
Ingrid,
advantage?
you're gonna choke for it.
That's not normal sounds, right?
According to training, it can have something even bigger than that by like 8 inches. It's training said it was fine. Are you okay? And she pats the bag.
It licks your hand. By the way, this entire
I think-
time, Watcher has just been perched on Rail's shoulder.
You know, it's okay, Watcher. You could disregard that. In fact, you might want to fly for this so it doesn't increase any weight.
Okay. Opal, what did you roll on your Constitution save?
I'll say everything.
Okay, so you all managed to make it up to the 32nd floor. It takes you about 40 minutes of climbing stairs, and you all have a point of exhaustion.
So I didn't
wonderful.
get advantage for ditching all my equipment.
It's still climbing
I asked
32
anyway.
stairs. Or
Okay.
32 flights of stairs. And flash over to Griggum, who is, I assume, sitting in a bar having a nice drink. Or he
After
he-
a visit to garden.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or I assume that's maybe after visiting a money changer to cash out the Orzhov promissory note.
Yes. I was like, and then I put that back at the home office, and I guess our treasury.
Yeah, you actually have a small little treasury on the second floor, with a little box for each of y'all if y'all have something that you want to have stored or locked up. You, of course, have to bother Cathal. And she...
Yeah, and I'm also writing up a note of giving
I mean, second floor down since we were 1 story.
Yes, one story down, sorry. The first floor under. Basement level 1.
Oh goodness, I'm still trying to remember names. Cookie's character is called
Opal.
Opal. That's it, right? Thank you. But I'm gonna basically write a note of just Opal, pay bonus 50 gold.
I love that when it was
Actually,
it was 13 gold that they were upset at you.
13. Yeah.
So where are you putting that in?
He's just writing a note to Cathal, I assume.
Yeah.
Taking it out of everyone's share, huh?
Cathal takes the
It's from
note.
my promissory note.
Okay.
Cathal takes the note, kind of writes a little bit on it, nods, and sticks it in a bag. Rail, sometime around floor number 23, your documents satchel gives you a little tug to
Buzz.
alert you that there's something in your pouch. Rail, can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah. Is this something living?
It's not squirming. It just gives you a little tug as the notification that you have received a note.
Okay. Okay, a note specifically. Let's see what the note is.
You pull out the note. It
Some-
has
Something in the pouch is it in the pot? I don't know.
You pull out the note. It has in Cathal's handwriting, please give this to Ingrid. And then it has in Griggum's handwriting, please give Opal a bonus payment of 13 gold.
Okay, then. Pass along to Ingrid and Opal. Apparently we owe you 13.
Okay. Well, I've got everyone but Griggum with me. So if Griggum's giving her 13 gold... Okay, Opal, you take 26 gold. then you take 13, and Faradir takes 13, and I take 13, and that's the same as Griggum losing 13 and giving 13 to Opal, and then all of us getting 13. Because I can't negative take Griggum's money.
I like how you work that into a payment for yourself. You
I'm
are
not
such
sure
a hoards
exactly
person.
if
I love
that'll-
it. No, the math actually
I'm
works.
trying to. Okay, I'm trying to figure out. It's like, okay,
All
I
right.
got money from a side investment. I'm like wholesale,
You,
like
you
giving
can't
it to
send
her.
that to you can't send that to me. I don't think.
No,
She
it's
just
in
sent
the
the
vault.
note, or did she send the amount?
No, he put it in the vault.
Oh,
and
so she okay. I didn't realize she was sending like the whole pouch. Never mind. I'll just give that to Opal.
No, like, here's what happened. Griggum put his money in the vault. The vault is
Okay.
the stomach for your bag.
Okay.
He then gave a note to
So then
Cathal, who sent the note to
and
the
that went
Documancer.
to Rail's bag, and Rail's note says, "Check your bag. Opal's payments in the bag." And then okay. Fine. Okay, I'll reach into the mimic and pull out this weird bag that I didn't have before and give it to Opal. Thank you, mimic bag.
This poor
It does not seem upset. It
I mean,
just
at
seems...
least we've never tried to put like a person in it. I heard some people did that and it was like super dangerous.
I volunteer as
Oh.
tribute.
Glad we didn't.
It doesn't seem to be hurting the bag, it just seems to enjoy making the sounds.
We could try it sometimes for like a stage prop for you, Opal.
So
Like you could disappear and come back.
So after about 45 minutes of climbing stairs and 1 point of exhaustion, you manage to reach the 32nd level lit with a label outside the door, which reads Archives, Incidents, 10,075
Okay.
to 10,076.
How do we discharge a point of exhaustion?
Long rest.
Okay, so a short rest won't even.
And it's disadvantage on skill checks too.
Yeesh. Well,
However,
Time
there
I'll
are special
cast-
circumstances like after a chase or after a arduous climb, if you take a short rest, you will wipe a level of exhaustion. But only specific kinds of
So this
exhaustion,
isn't-
like having climbed a lot of stairs
So-
and then catching a breather.
I think that
okay,
the
so
short
let's
rest.
take a short rest at the.
So y'all stand outside the door, kind of having a semi-smoke break. I'm assuming someone kept a cup of coffee just to sip it.
I mean, I always have the mushroom bars.
Like, y'all are on a little landing platform, so you see things like, you know, occasionally a person in demure robes will come by, or like this weird little spider-limbed body thing with an iron mask will skitter up the wall and through one of the doors.
I get my main backpack back out, but then I throw all the heavy stuff into the into it separate, so I'm not carrying any heavy stuff. Why do we still have leather armor, guys?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Wait, you guys get armor?
I still have my original armor. I didn't get it sold. She's throwing
Yeah,
like stuff
style has
out of her
changed,
bag.
sure.
She's like, "Why do I have this stuff?" Oh, can you identify this rail? Like when we're done with our break? And she holds up
I
like
certainly
a
can.
black tube of liquid
Which one is this one?
with I
Ew,
think
okay.
silver dots in it. I think the one from Maine.
But yeah,
Oh, that one.
absolutely can. Ritual cast identify.
Okay, so short rest, and then 10 minutes later, this is identified as a potion of night's rest. K-N-I-G-H-T, not N-I-G-H-T. When you
Can they
drink,
get rest?
Give me by 2 seconds.
What does that do?
When you drink it, your armor class goes up by 1 for 1 hour, and you gain the effects of a small healing potion. 1 hour later, you gain
that's
2
nifty.
points of exhaustion.
That is also nifty. All right.
Realize? And then Ingrid just doesn't say the rest of her sentence and puts the potions away.
That was just one of them, not all three, right?
They all look the same. So are they different?
The
Looking?
last three all
Or-
look the same too.
Yeah, that's true. Well, do you want to check out the rest later after we've gone through some paperwork?
Yeah. I mean, you did help me make that pearl, or I helped you make that pearl for a reason. Might as well.
I mean, this one could be interesting.
I like that y'all go to Precinct 2, have a nice little snack outside at a bistro, then go into one of the most secure offices in the world, stop at, like, the landing, and spend 10 minutes doing a ritual identification of unknown substances. Outside the archives for a full year's worth of incident reports.
Oh, it's time to get incident reports. Or look at them and make notes.
So, as you go inside, you are confronted with,
Could
like...
be worse.
What's up?
So it could be worse. Opal could.
Yeah.
I was just saying, could be worse. Opal.
Inside the door is a little research area with a number of tables at the side. There's already a few people sitting there reading tomes. Behind the desk is, like, for an elf, it is surprising that how elderly she looks. With short, maybe shoulder length, white hair with silver streaks in it. She looks, yes? Can I help you?
Not the paperwork.
Ah, yes, we have this right here,
I'm sorry?
and he's gonna hold.
You're fit?
Show her the papers.
All right.
She kind of looks, I can agree
We're
with
not
that.
going to have that.
How is this woman still on the job?
She kind of, like,
You know what?
shakily reaches out and takes the paper.
Nope. Nope. I'm not having that. I'm casting enhance ability on her.
You're, you're casting a spell on her?
I'm casting Owl's Wisdom. Gives her advantage on all perception.
Okay.
Everyone knows that your eyesight and hearing gets better with age.
Yeah, she's half blind, half deaf, but sure. It's like, I feel funny.
Okay, no. So she's half blind, half.
Literally,
So
like,
this makes
you
her
look
exactly
at her,
half as blind and deaf. So now she's only a quarter blind and a quarter.
like, when you look at her, she actually has, like, cataracts over her eyes in, like, the shape of moons.
Ew.
She's like, she reaches out for the paper, her hand's still shaking. Alright, so, this seems to be in order. What can I do for you?
Alright. Ingrid?
Well, we need to see reports. Since we have a writ about this lawmaster, we'd like to see some reports, or maybe even get some copies or take some notes so that we can help catch him.
just the ones that have been directly linked to him?
If you got a couple suspicious unlinked ones, we could look too if we get enough time. But definitely the directly linked ones.
We do have some things cross-referenced, but is there anything specific that you want me to like find or check for? Location or method or anything like that? I don't want to make a bunch of trips out into the stacks. So don't send me back out there just because you thought of something later. Okay?
Location's good. Knowing if it's magical or non-magical means is good. Knowing the main gangs targeted is good. Knowing the main crimes targeted is good. And any officer's notes about things like left at the scene, that would be really helpful.
Okay. That's a lot. It's going to take a few minutes, okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
She kind of, like, rickety stands up. You can see her arms and shoulders shaking. She turns and she starts shuffling down the stacks. A minute passes.
Okay. Would you want to bet that she
5 minutes pass.
comes back with at least one misunderstanding?
10 minutes pass.
Let's see.
I'll admit that Opal's being incredibly patient.
Opal, please don't burn the.
Alright, I got your stuff. She's apparently behind you now, setting like 4 piles of paperwork down that are each like a half a foot tall on one of the research desks. Anything else? Just let me know. Okay?
I think.
Okay. And then she kind of shuffles around you back to her little seat.
Do we take notes, or is there a way to get any copies magically made or anything? Can you do that actually, Rail?
No coffees here, please.
I don't believe I can.
Copies.
That'd be a nifty spell. Yeah, as far as I know, that's not something in my particular bag of tricks.
There are like stacks of paper and writing instruments if you want to take notes.
I think we're in for an afternoon of studying. What do you think, Rail?
I think the same. I wish Griggum were a bottle of alcohol.
Alright, so everyone who
Ingrid goes through her. Ingrid goes through her stuff and gets out her second flask that she filled with the like 1 copper cheap ale and hands it to Rail.
you hear from the desk, no
You
food
know what?
or
It's a start.
drink in the archives, please.
For later. Or we could go out afterwards.
Sleight of hand to take a drink without.
Well, go ahead.
Natural 20!
You're fine. Like you.
Oh, Rails. He's fine.
Yeah, it's too bad you burned that 20 on drinking and not on researching. Which is what y'all are doing now.
The important things.
So this is probably going to take the course of an hour. Everyone who is helping make an individual research check.
Do we
Okay,
get a
what's the
fair deer
check?
roll too?
Fairdeer. Oh, now that he is mentioned, y'all notice Fairdeer has disappeared somewhere between the Bistro and New Prov.
What do we roll for research? Investigation.
Investigation.
And is this one of the ones where we can't use guidance because it's overtime?
It's overtime, and 2 people can't read the same piece of paper at the same time because it's a little awkward.
Another natural 20.
Well, that's good
Okay.
because I got a 6. So
I got a 15.
Okay, so
All right, I guess this is what I was saving up those good rolls for last time.
okay, Rail, you get 3 questions. Ingrid, what did you roll?
I got a 6. So
No questions for you. Opal, what did you roll?
15.
You get 2 questions. You ask your
Okay, so
questions, and I
before
will
I ask-
answer.
do we still
Before
get
I ask
any general
questions,
summary
what
information
were we
of what
trying to
was
figure out?
Are you asking me? Okay. What you were trying to figure out is any information that may lead to or help you track down the Lawmaster. You have 2 questions left.
I said before I ask any questions. That was me asking the other people, not the...
Oh, well, then...
I think that the audio glitched, so that was an audio glitch issue. Because I couldn't hear that.
I'm just having fun. I'm not seriously I'm not stealing one of the questions.
Ah,
I mean,
alright.
I'm still reading for an hour. Is there any general information we all get from reading before we do the questions?
General information you get is that the Lawmaster seemed to have been operating primarily within the 4th Precinct, and then after the Gruul incursion, he has apparently started operating in the 2nd Precinct.
Wonder there's a bounty now.
One. Alright, so questions. Are we allowed to brainstorm this, or do I just do it?
I just need to know what you have been researching.
Alright, question the first. I don't know. Did somebody else want to ask first?
Well, you have 3 questions, and
I don't.
Opal has 2 questions. Ingrid did enough to
Yeah.
get y'all a general research, which is that
Right.
he has switched his operating area. And you don't know if this is the first time he switched his operating area or not, because you don't know if anyone died prior to him being detected and labeled the Lawmaster.
It's the first question. Has he changed his operating area before?
There are murders fairly regularly within Ravnica, while there are not any that are identified exclusively as him. There are a number from the 6th Precinct 6 that have a similar operation of being targeted towards guildless gang members. These did not have any etching done on the body, but did seem to be targeted to people who had recently committed a crime of one sort or another.
Right. That's the case with the murders that we've noticed as well. With this, like, is that something that they have in common?
That is what makes them suspect that it is possibly one of the Lawmaster's killings, is that the Lawmaster seems to be targeting people who recently committed a crime, and these people recently committed a crime before they were found dead.
Right. Okay, that's what I thought I wanted. Recently committed a crime.
Oh shit! Wait, fuck.
So everything all right? who is not actually here.
I'm just realizing out of character,
Metagame.
I might be in trouble.
But none of us know that. Let's see.
Several of y'all have recently committed crimes.
Yeah.
Rail is not
Yeah.
one of them. What do we already know about the method of killing?
The method of killing seems to be not magical based, but physical, rather violent. It seems to be either a strangulation method or a series of very sharp, sudden stabbings.
Is there any... So question 2. Is there any commonality to the circumstances of murder? Like, is this person... Are they all being attacked, for example, like, after leaving a Rakdos club or something like that? Or at a certain time of day?
All of the suspected ones seem to have been killed within 62 hours of having been arrested or investigated by the Azorius or the Boros in the commission of a crime. The earliest was 12 hours after, the latest is 62 hours after.
Okay. And... Oh, I seem to have lost... Oh, there it is. Okay. Lost GM video for a second. And I guess the last question is... Can we think... Like, is it at all public when people are being investigated? Is the murderer getting the information through any kind of...
That would not be a research question. That would be a history knowledge. What is your passive history?
Okay.
Just to check.
My passive what check?
History. Like, take your
Passive
history modifier and add 10.
12.
12. You do not have a lot of experience with the law. You are not a archivist or whatever the term is. However, your sister is.
Advocist.
However, your sister is, and you did help her with her studies and stuff like that at a younger age. So you are aware that investigations are not made public. They are occasionally leaked, but more often than not, they are not announced until after the arrest and trial has been held.
Which would have been before these people were... Oh, sorry. These people were killed before they would have had a trial.
Yes.
So the murder is probably... They have some form of access to inside information.
And that doesn't count as your last question because that is a general, like, I would know this. Ravnican society functions this way question.
Okay, so third question. We still have Opal's questions. I screwed this up. The third question that we could get by researching on... There haven't been any descriptions of themselves, right? No eyewitness.
There have been no direct eyewitnesses. However, several people have witnessed seeing a semi-large figure, not huge, but at least 6 to 7 feet tall. No direct sightings or hair color, eye color, or anything like that. Just a vague shadow.
Okay, and using strictly non-magical.
Yes.
Okay. That's something, at least.
All right.
That's it for Rails questions.
Opal, you have 2 questions.
Trying to figure out how to word it.
That's all right. Intention matters as much as actuality. So if I understand what the intention of your question is, that's good enough.
I guess, is there any sort of like, I guess like symbol or like landmark or like sort of like thing that they leave behind
A calling card.
that makes it a way to track them?
There has been no physical calling card left, and while it was not on what the first few bodies that are being assumed to have been victims of the Lawmaster, the more recent bodies have had have had the law that they broke or are suspected to have been breaking cut into them. For example, one had carved into them stole food or destruction of property or stole money, stuff like that.
Lovely.
I guess for the last question, are they known to like spread out their services?
Their services?
Like they don't stick to just one particular area?
Okay. The Lawmaster is assumed to have started killing in the 6th Precinct with several guildless and gang members that were found near the docks who were either in the process of being investigated or were about to be arrested. A little while after those killings, the person that they are referring to as the Lawmaster began killing in the 4th Precinct with the body of a Gruul anarchist that was found with destruction of property carved into their back. The killings in the 4th Precinct continued until the Gruul incursion, where they have recently resumed about 2 months ago in the 2nd Precinct with a Orzhov member being found dead with the words "stole money" carved into them.
I mean, that could cover literally any.
And that's just kind of a summation of like what Ingrid found out. So you still have another question, Opal.
Questions are hard. How are people recruited into this?
No one's been recruited. From all impressions, it's a single person that has been doing the killing. And again, that would be obvious from like the research that's already been conducted. Because even the killings so far back in the
Oh, shoot.
Precinct 6 were similar motive and had a person that appeared to be rather tall nearby, seen fleeing the scene. And then those similar motive factors were also around when the lawmaster first appeared in the 4th precinct with the Gruul members, and guild listed it killed there. Either via strangulation or 2 to 3 quick strikes with a dagger.
So one question left still.
I'm not really sure what would be helpful.
Well, hang on. What was that last question again? I lost audio for a second.
She hasn't asked
Asking
it.
about how people. Oh, she would ask about how people were recruited, and she was told it was already knowledge that it was a single person doing
It was
it.
a one person.
It's suspected
So
that
it
it's a one
didn't
person.
yeah. So it didn't
I mean,
get.
I forgot to ask this, whether there was any physical evidence that might be used to track, anything that might have been left on the body.
She asked about calling
Aside
cards.
from the messages.
Yeah, no, they are.
Yeah, she asked about calling cards, and there weren't any.
Yeah.
Like, that was her first
Okay.
question.
Right. I thought the calling card was like the message carved onto the victims.
Yeah, there's nothing like left behind or anything like that. There's been no calling cards, weapons, daggers, anything like that left behind.
Heck, I don't know.
If Ingrid or Rail has a question that they want to suggest.
That would be helpful.
General time of day patterns would be good. That would be one thing. Getting a consolidated list if there's any gangs that are targeted more than others, though it seems to be kind of opportunity. Let's see.
Did we get anything about the frequent
I mean, we know that people are usually alone when it happens.
I don't know. I kind of asked this, but I was like, anything about when the crimes take place? Like, are they linked with any particular day of the week or holiday
or day or?
No.
All right, Cookie. Any ideas on your question?
I guess if there is a pattern for time of day or day of the week or whatever that they happen.
There does not appear to be a time of the day or day of the week that is the point of the target. It seems to be, however, just within a couple hours to a couple days after either an investigation has begun or is concluded. That the victims are killed, and generally they are found killed in a vulnerable moment. So, in an alleyway, or at night when asleep, or when returning from a bar. And that's all of them. And we're also getting pretty close to done, so I'm going to assume that after that, y'all are going to head back to the agency.
Were we going to try to switch off? It was the evening, and then head back?
I mean, that's up to y'all. I'm just asking y'all for just a general idea of where we're going from here.
See Cha and see if there's any Azorius gossip, or do we want to just head back?
I never claimed this was a family-friendly campaign. You just had a monk go to a strip club with half-naked giants out in front of it. Those were Arnold Schwarzenegger-type giants in Speedo thongs. There is nothing family-friendly about this. This is anyone can come and watch it. I generally do not suggest children watch this, but I'm not going to tell anyone, no, this is inappropriate for you. By the way, I really want to play Red Dragon Inn against you. I see those in the background, Meryl, and I just need to dig our box out.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking Red Dragon Inn is the sort of thing that could probably work pretty well over
Stream, yeah.
Although there are Twitch rules against drinking on stream, aren't there?
No, I'm drinking right now.
No.
Oh,
A lot of people do drunk streams.
okay. Because something I've done before, which is quite fun. Yeah, Red Dragon Inn, where every time your character takes a drink,
But how do you sober up when
if you have enough players, you get a nice buzz without ever getting really.
Well, no, but I mean, you heal drunk points. Oh, wait, sorry, I got distracted. Y'all are going to find Cha after this, then? Yes, Ingrid?
I mean, it's already evening. Well, of course, you'd be getting off shift, right?
Yeah, it's been about between the climbing up there, the hour rest, and then spending 2 to 3 hours researching. You're getting on close to 6 o'clock at night.
I feel like we're all the way here. We should check with her and then head back.
Okay.
But not
It
do a
doesn't hurt to check.
sleepover.
So we will cover that next session. Why don't we spend the rest of the session with you guys discussing the clues and information that y'all have found? Well, I type up notes and...
Wow. I think obviously the killer.
The killer's what? I didn't catch that.
Don't try to deny.
No, I didn't catch the last part of your sentence.
I said obviously the serial killer is Griggum.
What?
I mean,
the
he's
only
been gone all
explanation.
these months. He could have been in second.
Yep. Yep. That's the only
We're
possible.
talking about wanting those goblins to do better and not be in gangs anymore.
I have no
Everyone
say.
knows. That,
You lot have not seen my session. You make a fair point.
yep. No.
So here I am.
but-
I'm going to be lone wolfing trying to track down the serial killer while everyone else is trying to stalk me to figure out if I'm the serial
Oh
killer.
my god.
I'm
This is
loving
I
a
mean,
Monster.
If we
That's
run
the
out of-
definition.
If we run out of all our other ideas,
I'd like to sell the rights to a
we do
D&D
know a
sitcom.
captain who could,
Sit and wrap the-
probably fake arrest one of us. If we run out of all of our other ideas. It's
That
a horrible
is
idea. You
risky,
should
but-
never go with Ingrid's first
Look.
plan. You have to wait till at least 3 or 4.
And you're just... And this is just the first one to get
Yeah.
to our good plan. It's like, it usually takes several bad plans before we find a good one.
Oh,
so
oh
you're just
yeah,
increasing our
yeah.
number count.
I mean,
You're just speeding up our number count for this.
her first
I'm
one
just
on
saying
the
that if
incursion was
we
zombie
do
focus.
I'm just saying that if we do this, I recommend anybody other than Rail as the bait, because I'm the only one who can bring back.
And you'll only have a
Probably a
minute
good
to do
point.
so.
But that's a lot more than none.
So,
Re-inked my 20 with ink. What do you think? Versus the gold. I did it black.
you're not showing 20 on either of them.
This one's a 20.
Yeah, you're not. Oh, okay. I kind of like it. It's very easy to spot the difference. So we are not doing it next week, but in the upcoming weeks, we're going to. Actually, we may do it next week. I need to check on some things and talk to some people, but we may be doing a special 2-person one-shot as opposed to a second side agency game with Cookie's history being covered. And this will be the
But
first...
is this one going to be live?
the end of my sentence was going to be, this is going to be the only character pre-game that'll be aired live. That's not going to be up on our Patreon when I get it done. Says the DM in response to the interrupting Raven. Crow.
I thought you were just going to do it as a pregame for like Patreon. I didn't realize you were going to do it for stream. That'll be cool.
Well, it's going to be on stream, but it will. I will work out timing and stuff. It'll probably be when we're short several people. And we'll feature Cookie and Opal before they join the Second Sight Agency. So keep an eye out on our Twitter channel at Bonus Roll for information about when this is happening, which again is probably going to be when most people are like, hey, I can't make it this week. Ow. I have been sitting for like 4 hours, I guess. So anyway, Meryl, say the line.
Make like a polite werewolf, like a subscribe. And I'm unfortunately not going to be here next week, so all week after next.
Yep. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us for this episode. We've had a lot of fun. I hope you had a lot of fun. We have a freaking serial killer, apparently, that the agency is dealing with. Hey, if you have any ideas of who or what it could be, send a tweet to @bonusroll on Twitter. No contest, just hey, do it because it fulfills me in ways that I cannot express on stream without being creepy.
If you get it right, Kieranus will do a dance on stream.
I'll do a dance on stream if you just ask me to, but not right now. Thank you for watching this on Twitch. Please subscribe or follow and share us with a friend or two if you can. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank God I'm finally over this block. Please like, subscribe, and comment. If you're listening to this in the way future on the podcast that I have stopped putting out there because of issues, life is complicated and hard. It never stops being complicated and hard. But D&D makes it a whole lot more fun.
Now for your moment of zen. He's like, you get nothing, sir. Good day.
And with that, the DM is going to go sob
I have
quietly in
lost.
the corner. I had fun. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to run an Eberron one-shot for a couple people, and next week I'm going to be helping with a... Did everything just crash? Am I still here? I'm still here. I'm going to be helping with a learning game. So if you're in the Charlotte area of North Carolina and you manage to find me, please don't point at me out because I am incredibly shy and self-conscious. So, thanks. Bye, everyone.
Bye.